Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Bobby Wagner had many decisions to make. Where is he going to go? Does he want to stay in the NFC West? We all knew that the Cowboys wanted him at some point, but I had a feeling that he was going to be in the NFC West. Bobby Wagner decides to sign with the Los Angeles Rams. The Ramily is just coming off the Super Bowl win, and as me being a Buc fan, I can't be a hater. I can't misplace the rankings of where the Rams are at. I think we need to really start considering that a repeat can happen, might happen. I'm not going to say it's going to happen because, like I said, I got to feel that my Buccaneers still have a chance. But right now, if you're looking on paper, even though they lost OBJ, Von Miller, went to the Bills, there's still a chance that OBJ maybe re-signs. But to get Allen Robinson, that's an upgrade. What an amazing day for the Ramily. I know Loyal Rammy will be in the building here very shortly. Now they got guys on every fucking level. And I know the Rams right now, you got to put them at number one in the power rankings. I think they're number one. I put Bucs number two. And I'm not talking just the NFC, but I think overall in general, AFC's got, the Chiefs, and we got the Chargers, the Broncos, Raiders. You got obviously the Titans and the Colts. And then you got the Bengals and a lot of these other teams that are out there. But I think at this point, we really have to understand that Bobby Wagner going to the Rams gives them a player on every level that's going to be a Hall of Famer, Pro Bowl guy, a guy that's going to end up giving them a lot moving forward. So you got Aaron Donald up front. You got Bobby Wagner in the middle. And on the back end, hey, guess who? Jalen Ramsey, they're at corner. This is wild. I mean, like I said, they didn't really lose a whole lot. You replace Von Miller. You get Bobby Wagner. Like I said, you replace, obviously, the OBJ for now and the Robert Woods, obviously going to Tennessee, and you end up getting someone maybe a little bit better in Allen Robinson. Man, this is crazy. It's like you lose one guy, you give another guy an extension, and then you end up getting better pieces on the roster. I mean, they are looking like that they are primed right now. They are primed to be able to make a deep, deep run. Now, we know how hard it is to be able to go all the way and to be able to run it back. It's not something that's easy to do. But like I said, if last two champions right now are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Rams, and I still think those are the two best teams in the NFL right now. Now, we still need to sign Ndamukong Suh. We need to sign Gronk. But if we can get a few more people, we'll catch up to the Rams. But right now, I got them number one overall. Congratulations to the Ramily. You guys got yourself a stud. And this is going to be crazy, man. A lot of teams are going to try to keep up with the Rams and the Buccaneers. I know, like in Vegas, they had it preset that both teams are going to win the most, predetermined 11.5 wins. I think both teams can easily go 12-5, but there's going to be a lot of parity in the league, a lot of close games. We obviously know that the AFC West is going to be wild and crazy, and we already know from top to bottom with guys like Mahomes, and then you got the whole situation, right, with a dangerous Mr. Unlimited with the Denver Broncos. I mean, then you got Devontae Adams joining the Raiders. I mean, it's just going to be a wild and crazy time. And let's not forget about my boy, Justin Herbert. So there's going to be a lot of competition, as well as Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow, all right? Obviously the Tiger King, but I still think that the Rams and the Bucs are the two best teams in the game. Man, unbelievable. And I had this feeling that it was going to happen. And lo and behold, here it is. And you can't be a hater towards it. I mean, they had the money. And bottom line is you got to be able to have the money to be able to pay and make it happen. And then with the deal with Bobby Wagner, it's a pretty big one. So if you ended up seeing the contract, it's 5 years, $50 million, not like the 6 years, $120 million that Von Miller is getting with the Bills. I don't even know if Von Miller can play 6 years. I mean, he might be able to play a couple, but Bobby's going to get 5 years, $50 million with a, maybe with a possibility to get up to $65 million. Let's go over some of Bobby Wagner's kind of credentials here. So Bobby Wagner, an 8-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first-team All-Pro, NFL 2010 All-Decade Team, 1,383 total tackles as the active leader. The Seattle Seahawks rebuild is in full effect. He's signing a 5-year, $50 million deal worth up to $65 million. Pretty crazy, man. I thought, gosh, it's like they got guys on every level. All right. So you got Bobby Wagner to the Rams. So you got an elite owner, elite GM, elite head coach, elite quarterback, elite wide receiver, elite D tackle, elite linebacker, and elite corner. Talent on the Hall of Fame level on every position, on every level. Yeah, it's just crazy. You got other small teams, like the Jets and the Giants and a lot of these lower teams. They don't have any idea what the fuck they're going to do, let alone if they end up having a guy that can actually play the position. All right, now this is ridiculous. I'm going to read this off to you right now. All right. Defensive first team All-Pro selections since 2016. Aaron Donald, 6 selections, most in the NFL. Bobby Wagner, 5, second most in the NFL. 3, tied with third most in the NFL. Guess who? Jalen Ramsey. First, second, and third for all first team All-Pro selections. Hey, Tampa Bay might be the only team that can hang. I mean, we got the San Francisco 49ers. You got the Green Bay Packers. I still think that these are the best teams, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL right now. And like I said, we know that the Chiefs and the Chargers and the Raiders and the Denver Broncos and the Bengals and the Bills, there's going to be so many great teams. But you got to be able to have the defense and you got to have the offense to match. And I'm not sure if there's any other team out there really besides the Rams and the Buccaneers that really got that full complement of weapons on the offense and defense. And we're a couple people behind. We need to get Gronk re-signed. We need to make sure we get Ndamukong Suh back in the building. I like our chances, even though the Rams have dominated us in the regular season and they've obviously dominated a lot of teams in the NFL. But if anyone can even come close, it's going to be the Bucs. I'm not sure about the Packers. Maybe the Niners might be able to hang around too. I would probably put them right behind the Buccaneers. And there might be some surprise teams like the Saints and the Vikings that do some magic, or the Cardinals. But man, what a day for the Ramily. Let me acknowledge everybody in the room. Let's see how everybody is doing. Hey, everyone is doing tonight. Sarah Small in the building. Jared Devil in the building. What to do? YouTube GM in the building. What to do? Sarah Small. Hey, let's get to 100 in donos. I mean, like I said, the last couple nights have been pretty fucking incredible. We ended up hitting $550 2 nights ago. Last night, we were sitting at like $38 in donos after 2 hours. We did a 4-hour stream, and we ended up with $460 in donos. So shout out to the best fans on planet Earth, the Fanatic family. You guys are the best. Justin in the building. What to do? Legend is in the building. What to do? Holly Hundo in the building. What to do? Hey, so happy my Rams got him. Hey, I would be too. I mean, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had money to add Bobby Wagner to the Levante David and Devin White, you bet your ass. Even though Bobby Wagner is a little older, he's still a top 5 linebacker in the game. So right now, to me, Darius Leonard 1, Devin White 2, maybe Fred Warner 3, Bobby Wagner 4, Micah Parsons 5. But now with Micah Parsons being younger, I assume that he'll pass probably Bobby Wagner and probably pass Fred Warner. And I think Micah will probably be number 3 going into next year. And it could be a number of those guys. Micah could end up being number 1. It could be Devin White. It could be Darius Leonard. But to me, those are the 3 best. But I think Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner are right there. Obviously, Fred Warner still got a little bit of the youth on his side. Wagner's a little older. But for the longest time, it was Luke Kuechly and Bobby Wagner as the top of the top of the top. Shout out to Bobby Wagner. Shout out to the Rams. And like I said, I'm not surprised. I know that I'm going to have to go to war with the Rams to be able to get past them. But we do have Brady. We do have a good collective unit, even though that we don't have Bruce Arians anymore. That's quite okay. You know, we're still in good hands right now with Todd Bowles. And if anyone's going to be able to clip the Rams, I don't think very many teams are going to. Obviously, with Matthew Stafford moving up now and being able to show that what he can do. And even though that you don't have your main guy right now with Bobby Trees as well as Cooper Kupp, I mean, this is an upgrade. This guy was a top 10 wide receiver, all right, every single year besides last year. For whatever reason, Justin Fields couldn't get that chemistry, and it went really more towards Mooney. This is the most underrated superstar receiver probably in the NFL. That was a top 10 receiver for the last 5 or 6 years prior to last year. That's going to get back on track, and you better believe him and Cooper Kupp are going to ball out, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him. Yeah, you lost Von Miller, and that hurts. All right, the Bills are obviously trying to get to a Super Bowl, and they might, with Von Miller, helping to lead the way with that leadership. All right. So we might end up getting a Bills-Rams Super Bowl. I'm hoping we get a Bucs-Broncos Super Bowl or something of that nature. Like I said, I know a lot of these teams are going to be going after each other, but Ramily, stand up, man. He looks really good in that Rams uniform as well. I definitely would have loved to have him in Tampa Bay. Legend, I bet you're ecstatic, my dude. Let me scroll down here. Elliot Evans is in the building. What to do? Marcos Pineda. What up, man? 12th man in the house. This is going to be tough for you, man. Like I said, this guy right here, my boy, Marcos Pineda, he's been with the Seahawks. I mean, since way back in the day, the Matt Hasselbeck, prior to, the Marshawn Lynch. I mean, way back. I mean, I've been following him since the Dave Craig era and even before that. So I've been seeing Kurt Warner, and not the quarterback, but the running back. I mean, I've gone through the ups and the downs, obviously watching this team get really good, fall a little bit short, obviously against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl, which they probably should have won that one. That one was a kind of questionable Super Bowl, kind of questionable calls with Roethlisberger in his first couple years in the league, right? But Seattle ended up going with Russ, won one, lost one, so they ended up getting it. But there is no more Bobby Wagner. There is no more Danger Russ. So, I mean, you're really having to start over now, and it might be actually like a fucking reality. Like, wow, like this is actually happening where Danger Russ isn't going to be back there. You know what I mean? Like Bobby Wagner isn't going to be back there, and I know that's going to be kind of a shocker to a lot of the Seahawks fans. Like, wow, we're really fucking rebuilding. But you know what? You're going to stick with your team. You're not a bandwagon guy. Like I said, you love the Blazers. You love the Seahawks. Obviously, you love the Oregon State Beavers. You love the Seahawks. You love the Blazers. Those are your teams. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what Seattle's going to do, and hopefully they can hit something in the draft. I don't know if Drew Lock is really going to be the guy, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's scroll here and see what we got here in the building. The Rams are fucking loaded. Yeah, they definitely got to be number one in the power rankings. Still think Tampa Bay's number two. And like I said, once we get Gronk loaded up and get Ndamukong Suh, we won't be as good as the Rams on paper, but it'll be close. And like I said, you still got teams like the Bills that are going to be good. The Bengals should be good. Chiefs should be good. Broncos should be good. Chargers will be good. I'm interested to see what the Ravens do with J.K. Dobbins, with Lamar. But Lamar wants all this money, like Deshaun Watson, and I don't think you're going to get it, man. I don't think you're going to get it. Holly Hundo, looks like some of the GOATs are already in the building. Damn right, baby. Legend says Ramily. He fucking loves it. I bet you do. Let's scroll down here and see how everyone else is doing. YouTube GM says Rams and Bills are my number one and number two overall, and that definitely you could say that. The one thing, though, that I kind of worry about the Bills, they don't got a running game. And I keep telling people this over and over and over. Until you end up getting a running game of someone better than Singletary, Zach Moss, you got rid of Breida, you brought in Duke Johnson, that is not good enough to beat maybe a team like the Bengals, probably the Broncos, probably the Chiefs. I just don't see it. I see you being like a very hyped up team right on the cusp of a Super Bowl. But if you actually get a team that can get to Josh Allen and you can stuff that running game, they can force the pressure on Josh Allen, and not one quarterback in this league can win it overall for their team. You need a little bit of balance, and that's one thing that the Bills do not have. They don't have the balance. Yeah, I know you can run 50 to 110 yards with Josh Allen, but he can't do that every single game, especially when it goes to the playoffs and things get tight. So I'm definitely interested to see what they do in the draft. Now, if they end up getting a stud running back in the draft, then my perception is going to change, and I'll be like, yes, the Bills are definitely number two, even ahead of my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But right now, I feel Tampa Bay is the better team overall from top to bottom, even though they have Josh Allen. If you look at my wide receivers, if you look at the O-line, the D-line, every person for person, player for player, I think we come out a little bit deeper. That's big facts. Seahawks should get Mayfield for a cheap deal. I wouldn't do it because you're going to have to pay his salary. Stick with Drew Lock. Try to maybe get Malik. If you end up getting Malik there, that might end up being something that you can do, and you don't have to spend as much money. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be going for Baker Mayfield. Maybe Tampa Bay wants to go down, that route and try to, go for Baker. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be sniffing down that road if you don't really need to at this point. Baker is going to be overpriced. I know if someone wants to pay his salary, you might be able to go down that road, but I definitely wouldn't be paying any extra money. I'd be looking at something like this instead of Baker Mayfield. Go for someone that's young on the rookie deal. Fuck Baker. Try to maybe get someone like this. And I know a lot of teams, Pittsburgh, Seattle, the Panthers, there's going to be quite a few teams looking at Malik. That's big facts. All right, let me see here. Let me scroll down. Rob Navarro, let's go Rams. I know a lot of Rams fans will be in the building. Oh, look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. And I can't even be a hater. I'm a Bucs fan. I've been a Bucs fan since 95. And I know what greatness looks like. And this is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. This is a first ballot Hall of Famer, probably the best player on defense we've ever seen since maybe Reggie White. Overall, we've never seen anybody really like this. And Reggie was more of kind of a DN pass rusher, but for a D tackle, I got Warren Sapp on my team, and I love Warren Sapp. And in the 90s and the 2000s, he was by far the best D tackle, and this guy's way better. And that's me being a Buck fan, showing love that how great Aaron Donald is. I think he's going to go down in history, depending on how many more years he plays. I think he's going to go down as the best ever. And no disrespect to Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, or any of the greats in the past, but this guy, I mean, if you can just get past the fact that he's not on your team, he's not on the Rams, I mean, he's really fucking special. And then this guy's the best corner in the game. Hands down. I don't think there's anyone else that's on this guy's level. Yeah, there's Jair Alexander. There's a lot of other guys that are out there that are money when they're healthy. And obviously, we have to see what Stephon Gilmore can do. There's a lot of guys that get a lot of picks. We saw Diggs get 11 picks with the Cowboys, but he gave up the most yards. But physicality, man, obviously zone, anything that you want to do athletic-wise, this guy can do it. And I think in press coverage, man, zone, this guy by far is the best. So you got the best corner. You got arguably the best defensive player, the best D lineman, and then you still got a top 5 linebacker in the game. Man, I mean, it's going to be scary. And you got Cooper Kupp, obviously, still there. You still got Matthew Stafford there. And then, we're just going to trade Bobby Trees away. All right, we'll let Von Miller go. We'll take Bobby Wagner in a replacement deal, so no problem there. So you lose Von, whatever. We'll get to Bobby Wagner there. All right, so no problem there. Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. And then you get Robert Woods, and he's a great player, the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL. But if you're looking for a guy that actually has the skill set to be a top dog, like a top 10 wide receiver, Robert Woods was never a top 10, but I think he was getting closer and closer with Cooper Kupp. But now, as you see with the new guy coming in, you're replacing one guy who's amazing in Robert Woods, and then you're ending up getting someone that people are really sleeping on, obviously, as we know, in Allen motherfucking Robinson. Crazy, man. It's just crazy what can happen in just a matter of a few days, a few weeks. Unbelievable job that the Rams are doing, and I don't see them really stopping anytime soon. It's just wild to me that this team keeps getting better and better and better. And then they have the long-term longevity as well to be able to stick around. I don't see them dropping off. Like, them and the Niners are not going to drop off. It's going to be the Rams and Niners running that fucking division, the NFC, for a long fucking time. Bucs, one more year. Green Bay, they'll be great in the regular season. I don't see them winning any Super Bowls. I don't see anything minus this guy, minus MVS. They had their chance. And like I said, I mean, obviously this guy wants the money. They're going to be a top 3, top 4 team. They're still going to be great, but they're not going to be as good as the Rams. It's just not happening. And they're not going to be as good as the Buccaneers. I mean, you're going to be playing in a division, obviously, with the Lions. That's 2 wins. Bears, that could be 2 wins. And then obviously the Vikings, you might split. We'll see what happens there. So, I mean, if you end up sweeping the division, that's 6 wins. But you've been beating up on that crappy-ass division for such a long time that we got Kevin O'Connell now, that at least we got 2 good teams that are going to be in the division, not just 1. So I'm excited to see on what happens there. But, man, Bobby Wagner, flex on him, boy. I mean, you got your money. You got with a great team, and you get to play against the Seahawks twice a fucking year. That's crazy, man. EMC 84, Ramily in the house. Shout out to the Bucs, are going to be the only franchise to hang. I agreed, right? I mean, no matter if you don't like us or not, I mean, you guys dominate us during the regular season. We haven't been able to beat you, but it's not like you guys have been beating us by a lot. We've been losing to you guys by like 3. You know what I mean? Same thing with the Saints. Usually it's somewhere between like 7 to 10, some cases. And then we had the 38-3 blowout, but we got them in the playoffs and we ended up going to the Super Bowl and finding a way. But when we ended up playing the Chiefs and we played the Rams, like in our Super Bowl year, when we ended up losing, 4 or 5 games in the season, because we usually try to shoot for 11 or 12 wins in a season, 11-5 if it's like maybe a 16-game season, 12-5 if it's a 17-game season. No one is competing with the Rams or the Buccaneers unless injuries happen. And even if injuries happen, the depth that these teams have, I just need to get Sue signed, Gronk signed. We need to restructure Donovan Smith, Tom Brady, as well as Levante David, get those guys in the building, and then we're not still on the Rams level. I'll be honest. I mean, even with Sue there and even with Gronk there, we're not on the Rams level. Obviously, they have the youth on their side, but getting Leonard Fournette back and Brady back and getting Mike Evans and Godwin and getting Russell Gage, that helps us, right? But we're not as good on paper as them, but that's okay. I'll take number 2 in the NFL. If you want to say the Bills, that's fine, but the Bills haven't won the Super Bowl last time I checked in a long, long time, and they have not addressed the running position. So you can't tell me that, everyone can hype up the Bills on ESPN or on fucking NFL Network, but until they end up getting a 3-down back that's better than Singletary, Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, you got rid of Breida, you brought in Duke Johnson, they're all the same. They're all RB2s, RB3s. Josh Allen is not going to run for 100 yards every fucking game. It's not going to happen. And there's going to be a team like the Chiefs, the Broncos that can beat the Bills, maybe even the Bengals. So I'm not really fearing the Bills. They're kind of one-dimensional to me. It's like once you end up, stopping Dawson Knox or Diggs or wherever you want to go there, depending on who they draft, I mean, once you end up kind of getting a little bit of pressure, and that's for any quarterback in the NFL, you get a little bit of pressure on them, but it's not like Josh Allen is a pure thrower like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers or a Mahomes when he's hot, or even a Justin Herbert. I mean, he's a guy of he needs to warm up, with that arm. And we know he's got the strength in the arm, and he might have the strongest arm in the NFL with Mahomes. We know those guys can, launch it deep. But I'm talking about accuracy. 3rd down and 14. Can you count on Josh Allen to thread the needle every single time? I feel there's quite a few quarterbacks right now that are a little bit better at doing that, even though he's still a top 4, top 5 quarterback in this league, Josh Allen. But I think you can't just do it on your own. And the defense, they need to be able to get sack lunches. That's a big problem for them too. They can't get to the quarterback enough when it counts in the playoffs. So I'm interested to see if they can actually buck that trend. But the running game, you can say the Bills are the favored team, but we'll see what the Broncos do and the Chiefs do and a few of these other teams out there and the Bengals as well. But I'm not really sold on the Bills as being like the best team in the AFC, hands down. Like a lot of people are hopping on the wagon, and they've been hopping on this Bills wagon for quite a while. And they're very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But when it gets to the playoffs, just ask like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and the Bills. Sometimes you need that a little extra. And if you don't have that balanced offense, you will fucking pay when you get a team that's got an elite defense, whether it be the Rams or the Buccaneers or some other team in the AFC that can put that pressure on. And I know the Bills are going to end up winning a Super Bowl. It's not like I'm saying they're not good. I could see the Rams going back-to-back. I could see the Buccaneers winning. I could see the Bills getting there and winning. I could see the Broncos getting there and winning. There's a few teams that I could see. Maybe a sleeper team like the Niners that people are sleeping on. That's a team that could definitely surprise a lot of people because they're very familiar with the NFC West, and they play everyone really well, and they're very well coached. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what the Vikings as well as the Saints do in the NFC. But right now, Rams, Buccaneers are the two best teams, not only in the NFC, but I feel overall. But you still got Bills and Chiefs, Broncos, Bengals, a few other teams up there as well. But you got to have a full complement, running game, offense, defense, O-line, D-line, coaching, and I'm not sure if the Bills have that full complement to be like, okay, they are by far the best team in the AFC. I don't think so. I mean, I think there's a lot of teams that you can put in that category, about 4 or 5, that are going to be going for that number one dog, number one spot. But congratulations, EMC 84. You guys got your guy. Can't hate one bit. You know what I mean? If I had the money, 5 years, $50 million with an opportunity to get up to $65 million, amazing, dude. Great job. Great job and solidifying yourself and really trying to go back to back. Hey, my Buccaneers will give you a challenge. I'll tell you that, because I really think it could be the Rams or the Bucs winning the Super Bowl this year. No disrespect to the AFC, but I don't think they're better than the 2 NFC teams, at least for this year. And then obviously when Brady leaves, I won't be in the conversation anymore unless I end up getting some kind of amazing talent, which I don't know what's going to happen. It's not like Justin Herbert's going to be on the Buccaneers. Now, if we had Justin Herbert on the Buccaneers after post Brady, then I'm like, yeah, we're going to still be hanging around. But if we don't have like a Herbert type of talent, we ain't going to be there anymore. All right. What up, Orion, in the NWSF Rams? Cheating bastards. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. He said bong hits coming up. Uh-oh. He said, I feel the Rams will be just as good as last year with their backfield getting healthier. And I want to see what they're going to end up doing in the draft as well. It's going to be very interesting. All right, let me see here. Rob, he says, always stick with your team. Seems like yesterday was 06 or 2016, and the Rams were god-awful. Yeah, and it can. You know what I mean? And like I said, there was a rough time with the Jeff Fisher era. Look at me with fucking Josh Freeman, and then the Jameis Winston era. And then all of a sudden, within the last few years, I've been blessed by the football gods to be able to have Brady come in, but it's also Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich and Ryan Jensen and Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr., obviously Devin White. It's not just Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Gronk obviously helped, as well as fly like a butterfly, sting like AB. But I've always said, and if you guys have watched my channel for years and years and years, I've told you guys the best 2 coaches in the NFL by far that are young are Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And I told you that they are going to get Super Bowls under their belts within the next 5 years. And boom, McVay already did it. And he's already been there with Goff. And obviously we've seen Kyle Shanahan get there with Matt Ryan, obviously in the Falcons, and Jimmy G with the Niners. He's not done. you will see the Niners will end up getting a Super Bowl in the next 10 years. It's going to be tough, and they're going to have to learn how to fucking score in the fourth quarter and make the adjustments, and they're going to have to get a fucking better quarterback than Jimmy G. We'll see if it's Trey Lance or if it's someone else, but I definitely can see the Broncos winning in the next 10 years, the Bills, the Niners, the Rams again, and I'm hoping the Bucs next year, just for that walk off into the sunset, Tom Brady. That's what I'm hoping. YouTube GM says Josh Allen, RB1. Pretty much at this point. That's facts. Minshew Mania to the Bucs. I'll take him. I definitely will take him. Adventures with AG, Bobby Wagner. Welcome to the Rams house. Yeah. Well, for now, I'll give you that. All right. Last 2 years, it's been Buccaneers and Rams, baby. And I want to get back to that. I definitely want to. And remember, if I didn't have those injuries, I mean, it's like you guys were up 27-3, and then it was 27-27. We lost 30-27. So it's not like you blew us out. And you guys almost had a horrible, obviously, fourth quarter collapse, but you guys found a way, and we ended up blitzing you guys with bowls, and you guys made us pay with Cooper Kupp, and it was almost destiny. Cooper Kupp was the best wide receiver last year, and it was the best wide receiver season statistically from receiving, from yards, receptions, touchdowns that I've ever seen, even better than Jerry Rice, even in his prime. So you definitely got to give Matthew Stafford the love, and obviously his legacy's not done. And if they can win one or two more, that's definitely going to put Matthew Stafford up on a whole nother category above Aaron Rodgers and those other guys that only have one. And same thing goes for Dangerous. I think he's going to get at least one more Super Bowl win under his belt, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Broncos make two, win one, lose one, just like he did with Seattle before his time is done. Air is in the building. What to do? Let's see here. You guys are talking about Giannis. Oh, yeah. Best player in the NBA, hands down. I mean, like I said, he's been the best player in the NBA for the last couple years, and I don't see anyone really passing him as the best player. I mean, you got guys like LeBron that are doing amazing things at an old age. Obviously, KD is KD. He's a snake, but he's not very likable. Giannis is likable, and I don't think he's going to get any worse. If anything, he's going to get better and better and better. Loyal Ramy. Oh, yeah, Ryan. We need a three-peat in LA. Hey. You got one. All right, you got one. Be happy with that. You guys might be able to get two, but hey, let me get one so I can end up getting my second one, obviously, with Tom Brady, and I'll get my third one overall, and then you guys can keep winning Super Bowls as much as you want after Tom Brady retires. As many Super Bowls as you want. All right, you want to go against the Broncos, the Chiefs, you want to go against the Bills and beat their ass, you want to go against the Bengals, go right ahead, but let me have this one this year. All right, let me have this one, and we already know how hard it is to win back-to-back, so it's kind of playing into the Buccaneers' favor. Maybe it'll be Bucs and Bills. I can beat them. Boom, Super Bowl, and then you can take over being the NFC top team for the next 10 years. I'm completely fine with that, but I need my Super Bowl. One more, baby. I need one more. It's the only team to hang. I hear that stupid shit every goddamn year when the last time a team repeated as champions. Well, I mean, like I said, yeah, there's a lot of parity in the league, but if you're looking at it on paper, Calvin, as a Saints fan, obviously Saints ain't going to be there. Vikings ain't going to be there. Green Bay ain't going to be there. There's going to be surprise teams. But usually the teams on paper, I mean, we're going to know who's going to be good. It's going to be Rams. It's going to be Bucs. All right, and I probably would have the Niners third. I mean, unless we can get something out of the Cardinals, Vikings, Saints, or some of these other teams, Cowboys, or whoever you want to put in there. All right, AFC's got the Colts, and they got the Titans. They got the Bengals. You got the Ravens. But for me, I like the Bills. Obviously, I like the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. Those are the main four that I like up there. And obviously Rams and Bucs. I mean, if you look at it on paper, as long as they stay healthy, I mean, who's going to compete with those two teams in the NFC? I mean, you can say whatever you want, you know what I mean? But I know that those are going to be, you know, either the top dogs at the end, unless we play each other prior, which I hope we don't. I hope we end up playing each other in the NFC championship game. But if we play in the divisional, I'll probably lose. But hey, I'm going to hope that, you know, Brady can find a way, you know, this one last year. So we'll have to wait and see. Luke Birch in the building. What to do? How are you, brother? Cyberpunk 53 in the building. How are you, brother? Yeah, but like I said, a lot of people are giving up, you know, on the Chiefs. I'm still not giving up on them. Broncos still have to end up having some chemistry there. Bills obviously are going to be the most popular team because they're just right on the cusp right now. But I wouldn't be counting out the Broncos. I wouldn't be counting out the Bengals, and I wouldn't be counting out the Chiefs. And obviously the Bengals got to the Super Bowl, so the chances of them getting to the Super Bowl again is almost slim to none. You know, there's going to be something that happens. I think they're going to be drastically improved, but there's going to be injuries to either Burrow or Chase or Joe Mixon, T-Rex. Something's going to happen. So there's going to be other teams that are going to step up. But Bills, Chiefs, Broncos, I still think that those are going to be really the top dogs there. But you never know. Things might change, you know, with the draft. with trades, injuries. It's always like that every single year. That's big facts. I'm scrolling down. I'm going to get caught up on the comments sooner than later. Is it overpaying for other teams' cast-off doesn't mean you're guaranteed to make the Super Bowl? Agreed. And it's better to be able to have guys in the draft rather, than paying or overpaying, like maybe the Buffalo Bills, with the Von Miller thing. But you also have to remember when you end up getting guys, like a Von Miller, even though you might have overpaid, that might have been the missing piece, the cherry on top, the Jay Ajayi for the Eagles. That one missing piece, that extra piece that they needed. And maybe having that guy, even though he's a little bit older, but with his leadership, his Super Bowl experience, if he can stay healthy, that might be able to get the Bills over the hump against the Broncos or the Chiefs or the Bengals. And so with a guy like Vaughn, I definitely could see that addition, even though they overpaid 6 years, $120 million. He ain't going to play out that whole contract. He'll probably only play 2 or 3 years. But if they win the Super Bowl next year, the Buffalo Bills, they're not going to give a shit. I mean, every single dollar that they paid for Vaughn is going to be worth it. So, I mean, obviously with some of these guys, you can say, they're washed up, they're old. I'm a linebacker guy through and through. You guys know that. So, and obviously, as you know, Vaughn is a little bit older. I love defensive ends, D tackles, linebackers, safeties. Wagner's still top 5. You know what I mean? So if you want to put him at 5, that's fine. You can definitely do that. But if you're looking at all the guys, I mean, you got Darius Leonard 1, Devin White 2, Fred Warner maybe 3, right? Bobby Wagner 4, Micah Parsons 5. But now going into this year with Micah being younger, maybe he surpasses some of these guys and maybe Wagner slides to 5, maybe Fred Warner slides to 4, Micah goes to 3 or higher. And then he's right there with Darius Leonard and Devin White because I think those are the 3 best. But I can't count out Bobby Wagner. He's been doing it year in and year out, just like Luke Kuechly did. Those were the 2 guys that were the best for years and years and years. So again, sometimes I do agree when you overpay, sometimes the cast-offs, it doesn't work. But look what happened with Von Miller and OBJ. If they didn't have those 2 guys, there is no Super Bowl for the Rams. So they definitely calculated that right. But it also shows you how great Sean McVay really is, Kyle Shanahan really is as a head coach. When you have a player's coach and you have the intelligence and you know how to do mismatches and you're a guy that people will ride or die for, it makes a big difference. And you get that mentality with Bruce Arians and Andy Reid as a grandpa coach. And obviously we already know what happened with, Andy Reid. He's still going to be there. All right. And then obviously they're going to turn over the keys, I would assume, at some point. You're going to turn the keys over from Andy Reid. We already know how great he is. All right. Maybe the best OG old school coach besides Belichick that's in the league right now. But Bieniemy's going to get his chance, you would think, at some point. And obviously we know with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I saw the press conference this morning, and there's a lot of rumors saying that Tom Brady forced BA out. There might be some truth to it. I mean, I think that obviously, Bruce Arians wanted to be able to hand over the keys to Todd Bowles. But if you end up having Todd Bowles and he's a defensive-minded coach and he's like, okay, I'm going to coach. Obviously you have Byron Leftwich and Brady can just cover the offense and you don't got to worry about anything but the defense with what you got with your guys. I mean, there might have been a little bit of truth to it. I think that there was a lot of swearing and a lot of, hugs after because Bruce Arians, if you saw the presser, I mean, he swears all the time. He's real. Real recognizes real. He's just one of those guys that's very emotional, very passionate. He'll swear at you. He'll talk shit to you. But then he's going to end up giving you a hug. But there definitely is going to be moments where obviously it probably rubbed him the wrong way. But look at Brady. He dealt with fucking the fucking Belichick for 20 fucking years. And if you're talking about a guy micromanaging and making football not fun, I mean, that's the epitome right there, Bill Belichick. So even though you might have had a few riffs with BA, that's fine. But to maybe let BA go into the front office and maybe there was a little bit of a push, from Brady and management saying, hey, we need to be able to get Todd the job now before he ends up getting a head coaching job somewhere else, Rooney rule or not. But there might be a little bit of truth, to it. I think a lot of Bucs fans don't want to believe it, that, the riff might have been a little bit more serious than it was. Bruce Arians already accomplished everything that he can. His health is good, but he is a little older. But we did get a guy that I was worried about leaving. So at least we got our guy moving forward. And it gives us a chance to try to compete with the Rams, obviously, in the NFC. But if you look on paper, I don't see anyone else in the NFC going to be able to compete besides maybe the Packers or the Niners. And we'll see what the Cardinals do, but they usually choke in November and December. But obviously, these are some of the top dogs in the NFL. And obviously, the Packers still have wide receiver holes to fill. The Niners need to figure out if it's Jimmy G or Trey Lance. And then we have an abundance of about 8 teams in the AFC that are going to be running and gunning for the Super Bowl. And that's big facts. All right, let me scroll down here and see what we got. But I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Your boy is always grinding and always hustling, baby. It's WrestleMania weekend, obviously, on Saturday and Sunday as well. Sorry, I'm all multitasking, finishing some work. That's no problem. No problem. Just glad that you are in the building. Kirk got paid like a number one wide receiver. Let that sink in. Are you talking about Christian Kirk? Yeah. Well, obviously, if you're Miami and you have, if you have money, to be able to spend on certain guys, to make your team better. I mean, I don't think Christian Kirk is that bad of a receiver. Obviously, he got paid like he was a number one. Kirk is more of like a wide receiver 2 or 3, but he does have that ability where like every 2 to 3 games, he can pop off for like 110 and 2 touchdowns. And there's not a lot of guys that have that in them. So I think there's a certain degree where you can say Kirk might be a little underrated, but he definitely got overpaid with the money. But we'll see if he can live up to it at some point or not. Yeah, it's always been a little slow starting off. Like I said, we're 35 minutes in. Like I said, we were at $38 for 2 hours in, and then we finished at $4.60. So, it's all good. I know that the donos will come when they come, Sarah, but hopefully we end up getting some on the Cash App or the YouTube Super Chat. Big facts. Loyal Rammy, I just saw a hot contributor to a Seahawks response to Wagner to the Rams. Dude had a Broncos banner in the background. LOL, diehard already jumped to Russell Wilson's new team. Dude, well, you already know how it is, Loyal Rammy. I mean, like I said, some people like to jump ship. And obviously, you got ones that are OGs like us that are, going to stick with our teams no matter what. And I've gone through so many bad Buccaneer teams. And like I said, some people are like, oh, you love Brady now, huh? This and that. It's like, dude, I don't even own any Brady merch. I don't have any Brady fucking jerseys or anything like that. I'm really happy that I ended up getting him. But I'm a defensive guy and an offensive line guy first. And like I said, with your team, with the balance that you have. And like I said, the key contributor that really might take your guys' game to the next level is going to be probably the running game. Because obviously now with Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, they're going to be unstoppable. There's not going to be any corners that are going to be able to stick with those guys. And if you decide to double team Cooper Kupp, good luck, because you're not going to be able to even stop him with a double team. He's literally unguardable. And then Allen Robinson's going to pop off for probably 1,100 to 1,500 yards and probably 10 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp will probably end up getting 15 to 18 touchdowns. It's just going to be wild, man. There's just nothing you can do. I mean, you can have the best corners out there, but then the best corner is Jalen Ramsey, and he's on your team. So you can't even really put Jalen Ramsey on him because Jalen Ramsey's on your team. You got the best corner. You got the best defender. And then you got a top 5 linebacker still. Shout out to the Rams, man. You know what I mean? I don't need to talk shit. You just got to be able to admit when you see the greatness and you see everything on paper on what it could be. Let the haters hate. I just want to be able to be competitive. I am going to be competitive this year. After this year, who knows? But I like our chances to be able to compete with you guys, and that's facts. Bruce Arians, 2-8 against the Saints all time. Sorry, I saw that today and just had to say it. Don't mention the playoffs, Orion. I know you got us there. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, you guys can pretty much beat us with anybody. Ian Book, Trevor Siemian. I mean, you guys can put pretty much anyone back. You could go back there, Elliot, and you guys can beat us. All right. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It seems like you guys always have the number, and that's completely fine. But, yeah, I mean, obviously we know the playoffs is really where it counts. I still like the matchup, though. I always like watching the Saints and the Bucs. I just hope that I can get some regular season dubs against you. And this might be the year that we do it, but you never know. I mean, you got Jameis, you got brand new coach, you got Andy Dalton there. I mean, I'm really liking the way that the team is stacking up, but you guys did lose some defensive pieces. So even though you got Taysom at tight end and, you got Andy Dalton, Big Red, and this is going to be very beneficial because I almost guarantee this guy's going to get hurt for a couple games, maybe not season ending, but there's going to be some kind of nagging injury, some kind of ankle or hand. Something's going to happen where he might miss a few games, and this guy will definitely keep you afloat. I'm a little jealous, to be honest. I would love to have Andy as my backup there. I know we ended up getting Ryan Griffin. He's been our third, fourth string quarterback for many, many years. We ended up getting him. He's not worth playing, though. If he gets in the game, we're fucked. All right. And then we got Kyle Trask from Florida. I don't think he's very good either. We might have wasted a second-round pick on him, but we'll have to wait and see once he gets his chance to show if he can do anything out there. That's facts. All right, here, Calvin Griffin, Saints fans. Tampa window is closed, and ain't nobody scared of the Rams. The whole Super Bowl shit depend on which team is healthiest, period. But you got to be able to have superstars as well. All right. So the Tampa window is not closed, and the Rams window is not fucking closed. Those are going to be two of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, your Saints have, some good players, but I don't think anybody believes the Saints can win the Super Bowl with the roster that you guys have. You have to be hot and healthy, but you also have to have superstars. How many superstars do you guys have on your team? I mean, you got maybe AK-41, Ram check, a couple guys on the line. We'll see if Michael Thomas gets back to that. Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore, Cameron Jordan. But player for player, your team's not as good as ours, and it's not as good as the Rams. So you got to be hot and you got to be healthy. So you, as obviously a Saints fan, you can have the opinions all you want. I give the Saints credit all the time of maybe even being able to beat the Buccaneers in the NFC South and getting into the dance. But you're only going to get so far. You're not better than the Rams, and you're not better than the Bucs. I mean, we've won the last 2 Super Bowls, and you got to have the depth. You have to have the coaching. You got to be able to have the good O-line, the good D-line. You got to be able to have that good presence of winning the battle in the trenches. But O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and then you obviously got to score some kind of fucking points on the offense. And last time I checked, I'll take Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady over Jameis Winston. Okay? Jameis is still going to be a good football player, but he ain't no fucking Tom Brady, and he ain't no Matthew Stafford. So you got to be hot and you got to be healthy, but you also have to have superstars, game breakers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson. You got to have multiple guys that can be able to blow the top off. So that's facts. Trayvon G, are you happy, brother? I bet you are. Gosh, man. Congratulations to you guys, dude. Bobby Wagner, top 5 linebacker in the game. It was just him and Luke Kuechly at number 1, number 2 for years and years and years. And then you end up going to the Rams, and you're getting a sack lunch on Jared Goff and the offense right there. Now you end up getting to stack the chips even more with that defense. And I'm a defensive guy, and like I said, besides the Bucs, this is the favorite defense that I like watching. It's just the passion, the energy, just the speed, and plus when you have guys that are the best of all time. Yeah, this guy right here might be the best of all time. This is the best corner, and this guy's still a top 5 guy right now at linebacker. All right, you got Darius Leonard, Devin White, right? Micah Parsons, Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner. I mean, even though Bobby's old, I still think he's top 5. And if you want to put him at 6 or 7, that's fine. But he's still going to put up good numbers and give you great leadership. And I think he's going to be really motivated for them to try to get that dub and try to be able to repeat. And we know repeating is almost out of the question. Seems like every team that tries to do it, they end up falling short somehow, some way. So maybe the Rams fall short. Maybe the Buccaneers can find a way to beat them by 3 points somehow, some way in the playoffs. I don't know how the hell we're going to do it, but somehow, some way, we got to find a way to not lose by 3, but win by 3, and then try to go all the way. But you never know. You never know. Yeah, Saints Bucs is always exciting, even for the outsiders looking in. I like, obviously, Rams Niners is fun. I mean, Eagles Cowboys. I mean, there's always great matchups. Bills and obviously the Chiefs, and obviously all the AFC West matchups. Obviously, Chiefs and Broncos is going to be crazy. Obviously, Chargers and Raiders is going to be cool, but Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes, and just to see what happens in that first matchup with Russ, if they end up blowing them out or if it ends up being a close game, it'll be very, very fun. Trayvon, what to do, man? Got to give you guys the credit, man. Number 1 team in the NFL, Los Angeles Rams on paper for now. But like I said, I got to get Gronk, and I got to get fucking Ndamukong Suh. I got to get a couple guys taken care of, but we got to adjust some contracts of a few guys. Donovan Smith, Tom Brady, and Levante David. So heard a rumor that the Rams play the Bills at week 1 at SoFi. Ooh, my Lord. Okay, but how many Super Bowls do you guys got? All right. How many Super Bowls you got, though? Do you think anybody thinks the Saints are going to win a Super Bowl? Not one goddamn fucking person on planet Earth, even Saints fans, think that they're going to win a fucking Super Bowl. All right? Now, if you would have ended up getting Tom Brady when he wanted to come to your team and you let Drew Brees get the boot, then you guys would be Super Bowl champions and we wouldn't be having this fucking conversation. All right? He definitely wanted to play for you guys, but you guys stuck with Brees' noodle arm because you had to, because that was your legend, your hero. You had to stick with him. But if you would have gave him the boot, you guys would have won the Super Bowl probably with him. That's facts. So you can be as good as you want during us in the regular season. I don't see any fucking chips at the end of the day. All I see is Buccaneers with a Super Bowl with a Lombardi. And last time I checked, I saw the Rams with one as well. And then the year before that, I saw the Chiefs. But last time I checked, I haven't seen one of these for your team in quite a while. All right. And you ain't going to get one with Jameis Winston. You have to have a guy like Drew Brees type of talent, my dude. So, you can be a Saint fan through and through, Alabama fan. But last time I checked, you don't have one of these, man. You don't got one of those, and you probably ain't going to get one anytime soon. And that's not being a dick. It's just being real. All right. There's certain teams and certain coaches and certain players, you got to be able to have the personnel. I don't see a Lombardi in the future for the Saints anytime soon. You can still be a good team. You can beat us 2-0 in the regular season. You guys can win 10, 11, 12 games. You can go to the wild card round or the divisional, and you could even play us in the playoffs and beat us. You could definitely do that. If you guys would have played us with Jameis last year, I think you guys could have beat us. You're one of the teams that we definitely don't play well. But it's all about putting the pieces together at the right time, and I'm not sure if you guys will be able to do that. That's facts. You're a good team, just not Buccaneer good. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. The Rams-Niners is definitely one of my favorite matchups. Obviously, they always go at each other. And the Niners are one of those teams you can't take them for granted because even though they might have Jimmy or Trey Lance, someone that's not as good as like a Brady or a Stafford, in the NFC, but they always play hard and they always have those sneaky plays that you have to you want to account for Debo, and then they go to make them puke Ayuk or Kittle. It's like they're really hard to match up against one-on-one. Obviously, we know with Stafford and Cooper Kupp and the ability that Brady has with Evans and Godwin and what they got there. But just with the other guys that they have, and pretty much they can line up anybody at running back and get 1,000 to 1,200 yards, kind of like the Mike Shanahan Denver Bronco teams in the 90s. I mean, you could pretty much really have anybody back there, and you know that they're going to be able to do something. So said I don't like them, but I can't hate on them. Yep. Chat is good. Just grinding. I'm finally caught up. Hopefully we can end up getting some donos. We're 45 minutes in. Let's take a quick look. I don't think we have anything on the dono side just yet, but like I said, we started off a little slow. We were at $38 after 2 hours yesterday, and we finished at $4.60. So I'm not too worried about it. We'll end up getting there. All right, time for some beers or some gummies. Cheers. Pineapple Modelo's. And if you guys want to watch some football with me, I am watching right now Week 3, 2021, Packers and Niners. And this is from last season. And this is the NFL QB Index. Aaron Rodgers is number 2. So I wonder who's going to be at number 1. Is that going to be Tom Brady? Is it Matthew Stafford? They've had Josh Allen, I think, was 3. Herbert was 4. Maybe Josh Allen was 5. Or maybe Josh Allen was 4, Herbert was 5. So they're gonna playing these games each day. And we got the Packers and Niners. Packers up right now 17-14. Green Bay 1-1. Nice pass to Devontae Adams, and the Niners are 2-0. So if you're looking for some football to watch, hang out with your boy and we can watch some football together. And we went back and we had some retro conversations last night, kind of towards the end, which was kind of cool. Talking about the old school cartoons and TV shows and movies and snacks and just kind of going back into my childhood. And some of my best memories I've had are when I'm 5 to 12 years old. I even went back in time today. I went on YouTube, and if you go to Hasbro, they have a channel, and you can actually watch old G.I. Joe episodes in entirety. They have it on the YouTube channel. They just play them over and over and over again like a live stream. Fucking cool, man. And then I ended up projecting it on the TV, and I was just in the bedroom watching old 1986 G.I. Joe cartoon episodes. Fucking incredible. When you go back and watch old school Transformers from 84, or if you go back and watch Ninja Turtles from 87, or G.I. Joe from 84, 85, 86, 87. It just the theme song, the sound effects. I mean, it really puts me in a good mood. I'm a big cartoon guy, as you guys know, but be able to go back in time is definitely fun. What about Honey Badger? Did he sign? What's going on? Sarah just sent me something, and Sarah's like the Robin on, obviously, the Howard Stern show. She's like my right-hand woman, all right? She's the manager, all right? Let's go. Let me see. What do we got here? All right, a number of teams. Nothing signed yet. Cowboys, Colts. All right, let me get Honey Badger's picture up here because that's what we do, right? The pictures are a part of the broadcast, baby, all right? All right, honey. I wish you would go back to the Chiefs. They need you, man. They do. I mean, you got Juan Thornhill, L'Jarius Sneed. You got some guys back there, but it's not the same without Honey Badger. Cowboys, Colts, Saints, Broncos. Ooh, Broncos would be nuts. Eagles, Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, Dolphins. Ooh. Now, if I'm Honey Badger, where would I go? Cowboys, maybe a playoff team. Colts are definitely a playoff team. Saints are a playoff team. Broncos are a playoff team. Eagles could be a playoff team. Ravens could be a playoff team. Same thing with Steelers, maybe. Raiders might be, but it's going to be tough with the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs. So the Raiders might miss out, but that's what they said last year and they made it, right? And then the Dolphins might be able to get in for a wild card. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, if you're looking at the teams there, Colts, Broncos, Saints, that would be obviously going back home to LSU and going back, obviously to Louisiana would make sense. But it seems like the LSU guys don't really do that often. But Colts and Broncos would probably benefit the most by getting a guy like that. But also the Ravens missed out on Bobby Wagner, so they're going to have some extra money. So I wonder where he's going to go and who's going to sign him. But it seems like the Chiefs might be out of the question. But you never know. You never know. Shout out to all the GOATs in the building. Appreciate you guys. You guys know who you are. WrestleMania weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be fun. Lots of beers, lots of gummies, a lot of good times that are going to be had with all the pimps and the GOATs in the room. Who will be the designated Tommy Gets Wingy today? I don't know. It was Riggs a couple days ago. We had it seems like it's a different person each day. But shout out to the GOATs. I love you, and I appreciate you very, very much. Gang. All right, time for a first sip of beer here. All right, man, Trayvon, congratulations, Bobby Wagner to the Rams. Can't believe I can't believe it, but I can believe it. And like I said, when the rumors were going around, I was like, this guy ain't gonna go to the fucking Cowboys. And if you know anything about Bobby Wagner, he played his like high school ball in California. So I was like, okay, he's coming home. Because a lot of guys like coming home. Devontae Adams wants to come home, played his ball at Fresno State with Carr. So I almost like was thinking 99.99999%, as long as they can get the money right. I knew more chances than not that this guy was going to go home and he was going to go to California and play with the Rams. And lo and behold, he did. That's why you got to do your research, and see where people have played and all that extra information. That's facts. A GoFundMe to bribe the Honey Badger? Yeah, I don't know. So Matthew will come to Saints. You called him. Well, you talked for hours. He gave you the scoop. Whoa. I didn't know you guys were linked like that. Crazy. Stephen McGinnis. Tampa Bay, baby. Let's not. I mean, you guys won the Super Bowl, but when's the last time a team won a Super Bowl and won another one? It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Usually there'll be something that happens. But if anyone could go back to back, definitely the Rams could. I mean, you upgraded, from Bobby Trees to Allen Robinson. I mean, there's been a lot of amazing upgrades for the team. But let's not forget about this team right here, man. Brady and the motivation to try to get that last one. I mean, you guys already went to the top of the mountain, but what's the motivation now? You know what I mean? You got rid of Von Miller. You brought in Bobby Wagner. I've seen all the moves that you guys have been making. You've been making great moves, no doubt. All right. You lost Von. I get it. You lost Von, but then you ended up picking up Bobby Wagner. Yeah, no more Bobby Trees. All right. You don't got to worry about him. All right. But then you ended up getting Allen Robinson. So that's an upgrade there with Cooper Kupp. I got it, baby. I got it. And this guy's amazing. I like this guy's projection for like his like Hall of Fame, his legacy. I really do think that he's going to have a legacy higher than Aaron Rodgers when it's all said and done. And I think Russell Wilson will be higher as well. I think both those guys are going to have more Super Bowls when it's all said and done than Aaron. I mean, Aaron could get another one possibly if he leaves the Packers, but it doesn't look like he's leaving in the next 4 years. And after that, he's done probably. So, but Packers and Niners, I wouldn't sleep on them. But let's not forget about Tampa Bay. We're still there, baby. We still got Godwin. We still got Mike Evans. We still got a great team. So we're gonna win 11 or 12 games just like you. It's just a matter of if we can find a way to beat you guys. And it's not like when we lose to you guys in the regular season, we lose by a lot, or in the playoffs, we lose by like fucking 3. So we just got to make a little bit of adjustments, and hopefully we're not as injured as we were in years past. And I think we got a great chance. Rams or Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. I would be shocked if it's anybody besides the Rams and Bucs. I mean, like I said, there's going to be injuries, I know, but I would be shocked 100% if it's not the Rams or the Bucs in the Super Bowl next year. I have unless we play each other in the NFC Championship game, that's one thing. Or if we play in the divisional round like we did last year and you guys got the best of us. But I just need my O-line to be healthy. I need Tristan Wirfs there, Ryan Jensen there, fuck AB. I can't have Godwin go down. I need to be able to have weapons. And we got Gage for an insurance plan, so I like that. So you guys are definitely the better team on paper, but I wouldn't count out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my dude. I know that he would look good in the Colts uniform, but I'm not sure if he fits the Colts like mantra. You know what I mean? Like, is he really like an Indianapolis Colt. Like they have certain players that they kind of go for, certain guys that they look at. They look kind of for guys that are yes, sir, yes, ma'am kind of people. And I'm not saying Honey Badger isn't one of those guys, but I don't know if Honey Badger is really one of those guys. You know what I mean? They're very respectful. They're a hardworking team, but they just have a different kind of formula when they draft players and when they bring players in. And I'm not sure if Honey Badger would be the best fit. He definitely would help you guys out tremendously on that back end, and that would help you get past the Titans and try to make a run. But gosh, the AFC is fucking stacked. You know what I mean? Said he looks best. I mean, he does look really good. I mean, like when I look at the jerseys, and I just remember him at LSU, but I mean, that looks natural. You know what I mean? It's like you can look at all the other teams that he's played in, but it looks good. It looks good. I just kind of like, gosh, can you just like rekindle some of the issues you had? Take a little less money and go there, unless he thinks that the Chiefs, like their time is done now because they don't have Tyreek. Maybe he's just like, well, they don't got Tyreek no more. They ain't going to do it anymore. So I'm moving on. He said, I'm moving on. Peace. He said, I'm moving on. But I don't know. I mean, would that be the biggest surprise if we end up getting Honey Badger signing back, you know, with the Chiefs? Because I don't think they're even in the conversation. I don't think they want him, which is crazy. No problemo. Eagles John, my boy, how are you? How you doing, man? Maybe the Rams can sign KD. I saw KD. He's like, oh, the Thunder and the Warriors should retire my jersey. I mean, this guy is, I mean, he's a talker, and he's been the second best player to LeBron pretty much his whole career. But he's really not likable. You know what I mean? He's a great shooter. You know what I mean? But he's just kind of like the heel, like in wrestling. You know what I mean? He's just not really a guy that you can really root for. You know what I mean? There's just so many other guys that are easier to root for, like Giannis or Embiid or anybody else. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, if KD's on your team, it's one thing, but their defense is fucking atrocious. They ain't winning shit in Brooklyn. They ain't winning no championships there. I'll tell you that. Well, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORIONNWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. So, yeah, it's been a little slow within the last few streams to kind of get the donos popping off. But, again, I'm not too worried about it. I know me and Sarah will get it done. We were at, $38 after like 2 hours yesterday, and we finished at 460. We were at a kind of a slow number the day before, and we finished at 550. So I know that we can get there. It just takes one goat to kind of get it started, and then the rest of the people can start on that dono train and hop on the train. All right, time for some beer and maybe some gummies, and then maybe that'll end up getting us some donos here as well. But we're almost an hour in, and hopefully we'll get something going. But I got the Packers and the Niners on right now. I got my pineapple beer. I think I got 3 of them in the fridge. I got gummies right here that I can pop at any point. So this is an open forum. So if you guys want to talk about Bobby Wagner, you want to talk about the Rams, you want to talk about the Buccaneers, you want to talk about your favorite team, you guys want to talk about NCAA Final Four, you guys want to talk about anything and everything, there's nothing that really is off the table. Like I said, we talk about old school retro things, you know, favorite TV shows, movies, childhood snacks. I mean, we go through anything. When the streams start going 3, 4, 5 hours, I mean, we pretty much just kind of bullshit, and we just talk about whatever that you guys want to talk about. So nothing really is off the table. I would like to start getting away from the Chris Rock, Will Smith thing. That thing is starting to get a little played out and a little old. But I mean, I guess if you want to still talk about it, we can, but I think it's kind of come and gone. And then obviously with sport, we ended up getting some photos last night, and he's finally able to walk and jog, and it's been like 2 weeks. We ended up getting some pictures, and this was sport last night. So we did a good thing. I posted them on the Twitter. It made me feel really good. You know, the surgery was $3,800 to $4,000. We raised $1,525. It took a couple weeks for him to get healed up. And obviously you can see how cute of a dog and a baby that they have there. And obviously Travis and Seppi are obviously always working hard, and that was a piece of the family. So that definitely made me feel very, very good. So that was kind of a highlight of the stream yesterday. And as you guys know, Paisley to me is everything. Obviously I'll do anything for her. And it's just, crazy that we were able to come together with those kind of funds and help save that dog's life. So shout out to the Fanatic family for being amazing people that you guys are. Love you, and I appreciate you very much. All right, time to drink some beer, do some gummies, and watch this Packers and Niners game. And like I said, you guys can chat within yourselves. Anything that you guys want to ask me, nothing's off the table. We're going to be hanging out, grinding it out probably for the next 2 to 3 hours. We're already an hour in, and we'll probably be here for 2, 3, 4 hours, maybe 5. I mean, we'll just kind of see where we're at donations. We'll see where we're at with people in the room, with the conversation, and we'll kind of play it by ear. Ooh, that first sip, that pineapple beer. And they're starting to sell out in Oregon. So I need to be able to, re-up and go to a Safeway and a couple of these stores. Because a lot of times I'll buy 6, 8, 10 cans and I'll get mangoes and the pineapples, and then I'll come back. And sometimes they re-up immediately, but sometimes they'll be like 2 weeks where they're just out. And maybe just waiting for another truck from like Mexico to be able to do the surplus or maybe get a surplus from another store. So hopefully I'll end up getting that. Well, I got one Thornhill, back there now, and he was a pretty high draft pick. He's got a lot of potential. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see. I mean, obviously your Ravens really tried to get Bobby Wagner, and they got money. So, I mean, I don't really know where the true destination for Honey Badger would want to go. I would assume he wants to go to a winning team that has a chance to try to win a Super Bowl, but maybe he's about the money. Maybe it's about a big, big contract, and he doesn't care if the team's a playoff-ready team or a Super Bowl-worthy team or not. Maybe he just wants the cheddar. Maybe Honey Badger, just wants to get paid. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see. Still looks great in this uniform, though, to me. But what does he want? Do you want to be on a championship caliber team? Do you want money? I mean, what do you want? We're going to find out pretty soon. That's facts. Oh, Niners holding big time right there. Fred Warner holding all day and all night. Come on, Fred, be better. First down and 10, 17-14 Packers up on the Niners. 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Aaron Jones moves in motion. Shotgun set. Aaron, hands off. Aaron Jones. Who? Aaron Jones. Nice spin move. First down, Packers. Move the chains. End of the third quarter. Packers 17, Niners 14. See what there's another game hopefully on after this. So after this is over at 9 o'clock, who is it? Packers and Ravens from December 19th. Okay. So at least there's something on that I can end up watching in the background as well. Still got some shows to watch. I got The Flash. I don't know if you guys watch that on it used to be like the WB, but it's obviously on CW now. So I got The Flash on the DVR. We got MasterChef Kids Junior Edition. I like watching that. Station 19, Grey's Anatomy, and then I got I got the Swamp People. Love me some Swamp People. So I like a little bit of a variety, a little bit of drama, a little bit of action. But Swamp People is on at 9. Yes, love me some Swamp People. It's 13 seasons, and I've watched it from season 1 because LaMichael James told me to watch it. It's like, this is a good show. I'm like, all right, let me give it a shot. And I really did fall in love, not necessarily with the killing of the gator part, but just the family aspect of it all and how they work together out there and help each other out. Definitely love the show. So I want Jarvis Landry on the Colts. You guys haven't really made any moves. It's probably frustrating being a Colts fan, I would assume, right? You're like, where is the? But I think that if you're not making moves, obviously they have ideas in the draft on who they're going to get. So maybe they have their eyes on the draft of who they want to be able to get there. There we go, my boy. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. Eagles John says, you know what? I'm not going to let my boy go a whole hour without getting at least some kind of love or dono. Thank you so much, man. Eagles John, I can always count on him representing Delaware to the death. His throwback jerseys with the Kelly greens are much nicer than my, my orange creamsicles that we're both going to bring back. But I'm excited about the helmets. as well as the jerseys. That's what you have to think of. It's not only the jerseys themselves, it's the helmets, it's the socks, it's the shoes, it's a look. You know what I mean? So it's going to be one of those things. It's very, very cool. And when you see the orange, no other team represents orange besides like with the Denver Broncos, but our shade of orange, the creamsicle, is a little different. And then the Kelly green. I mean, green is my favorite color, period, with Oregon Ducks. I love the apple green. That's my favorite color out of all colors. I mean, yeah, I got Buccaneer colors and Blazers, kind of red and black, or the red and pewter and the gray. And then obviously Mariners, that's got, kind of the blue and the white. But by far, out of all the teams that I cover, and obviously Dodger blue for my dad, but by far the Kelly green, no. The apple green for the Ducks. Anything duck colored, obviously I love that. But shout out to my boy Eagles John, dude. Thank you so much, dude. You can always count on some goat to get the party started, dude. $20 dono on the Cash App. Thank you so much, man. 1 hour in, no donos from anybody. Boom. Eagles John says, you know what? I'll start the dono train. Shout out to you, dude. Thank you so much. Bang! Eagles John, $20 dono on the Cash App. Bang, 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 bang. Now I got to be able to show some love. Let me see if I can find a nice Kelly green photo for you. Oh, baby. And they have different shades of the Kelly green. Like you obviously can go with like the old school look, like on this photo I'm going to pull up. And then they have like kind of the brighter version of it, which I like. Let me bring this up for you. This is one of my favorite players of all time. I mean, you donate to me and I'll take care of you. I'll throw up some custom pictures and some pictures that I can find for you to show some appreciation, say some thank yous. All right, here we go. So you look at Eagles John, and we take a quick look at obviously like the Kelly green and the old school with the Randall Cunningham. I love and I saw some other altered photos where they thought they should shade in the eagle wing on the helmet. No, leave it exactly the way it is. Leave it white, leave it like that. But the Kelly green that I think people are looking at are going to be like in this photo I'm going to bring up. And this is the one that they should do because it's going to be brighter and it's going to pop more on the field and obviously jersey sales. Let me see if I can find one that's more. Let's see here. See if I can find a good one. Let me see. All right, hold on 1 sec here. I got a Jalen Hurts picture for you. EU8. Let's pull up an EU8 here. All right, so you look at the Randall Cunningham, and it's kind of darker, right? But then if you go like this, like the brighter version, you know what I mean? Like if you get that brighter version, that's going to sell. Like the Devontae Smith jersey, the Jalen Hurts, depending on who you guys end up drafting. But I want the bright green. Give me that bright green, kind of like an apple green. Give me the brightness. I don't necessarily want the dark. Give me the bright. And if they end up doing like the bright color jersey like this with the brighter helmet, that's going to sell. That is going to sell like fucking hotcakes, not only for Eagles fans in Philly, but all around, obviously, the US of A. That's facts. Shout out to Eagles John, my boy. I appreciate you. It's all good. Will the Thrill. Kyle Akers in the building. What to do? I'm scrolling to the comments here. Give me a second. Justin Reed. Yep. He has a safety back there right now. Yeah, gummies. I need to probably take some. Sport the GOAT, Paisley the GOAT, Orion the GOAT, the GOATs. All the GOATs, baby. Well, the thrill, no worries, man. You got a lot of shit on your plate. Don't worry about it. Eagles John, my boy, with the $20 dono, getting us off to a good start. Thank you so much, brother. $20 in donos. Let's get to a hundo, baby. Let's do it. Didn't get your take on the Bucs GM, Thomas Brady. There might have been, some conversations on, trying to say, hey, either me or Bruce. You know what I mean? It's either me or Bruce. I don't think it really ever got to that point, but now you got him and Leftwich can call the plays. I mean, he is another coach that's out there. Bruce can go up into management and do that personal role. So, I mean, there might be a little bit of truth to it where, obviously we know coaches and quarterbacks, they argue. It's just what happens. It's not like every player is going to get along with every quarterback or coach. I mean, look at Brady. Brady was probably miserable for like those 20 years. I know Gronk said that he didn't really have too much fun. I mean, it's fun when you're winning Super Bowls, but if you're getting, your ass chewed out and you're getting, fucking this, your ass is fucking pounded just over and over, just getting fucking worked over. And he's talking shit to you. You're running drills and they're just fucking, he's just on you and on you and on you and just micromanage. At some point, that's got to get really old unless you're winning. But if you're winning Super Bowls, you can kind of push it to the side. But then when you're not winning, you're like, fuck this. You know what I mean? And then he ends up coming to Tampa with a little bit more freedom. But at least it puts Bruce Arians, because Bruce was going to retire after this year. It was already publicly known in the Tampa, websites, the circles, that Todd Bowles was going to take over after this year. But he decides to, kind of hand the keys over, whether Tom, had a little bit of words of saying, hey, let's just get this done now. And that way we can transition. And, but obviously Bruce Arians is one of those guys. He's had a great record. And if you actually look at Bruce Arians and everything that he did, I mean, his record is fucking phenomenal. I mean, I don't think a lot of people really understand how great he really was and how he really is. Bruce Arians' record in 8 years as a head coach. Do we know how good his record is? See, a lot of people don't realize what he did with the Colts. Obviously when, there were certain guys that ended up getting cancer, had the issues and he had to step in as a coach. Then he got a chance to be able to be Arizona's coach. And then Bowles was there as well. But we know with Chuck Pagano with the cancer, he got to step in and he actually got a chance to make a name for himself. His 8-year head coaching career, 80, 48-1. That's pretty fucking good. You tell me another coach that's got 80 wins, 48 losses, and 1 tie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's like one of those guys, if you watch the presser, he swears a lot. He is a no-nonsense, real recognizes real kind of guy. And Bowles, is a kind of the opposite of him, but he'll get angry when he needs to. But I'm really happy that we didn't lose Leftwich, we didn't lose Bowles, we didn't lose Arians and Brady, because I thought we were going to lose everyone. All 4. I thought all 4 are gone. We're going to lose them all, and we're going to have to rebuild. So he's still on the organization. He's our head coach, and Leftwich will probably be gone after next year. But if we end up winning the Super Bowl this year, that's fine. But I kind of hope that Byron Leftwich stays. I don't give a shit who offers him a head coaching job. What are you going to do? Take Houston's job? Take a job of like the Jags? Who cares? The team is going to suck no matter what, and then you'll be right back with us. So I know that Jags tried to offer him a job and they said, no, or whatever. And I know he played there. That would be probably a dream come true. But it's like the Jags have gotten the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. That's not a good look. And they're probably going to get it 3 years in a row. You know what I mean? When's the last time you remember a team was so bad they got the number 1 pick back-to-back years? Besides maybe like a team like the Lions. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. So I hope Leftwich stays, but realistically he'll probably go. But I would rather have Bowles at head coach. But I'm excited, dude. I'm excited for the opportunity. The Rams are better than us. And it's going to be tough to be able to compete with, the Chiefs and all these other teams that are going to be battling it out. We know Broncos should be very, very good. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Do not be surprised if the Broncos overachieve year 1 and Russ makes the Super Bowl. Don't be surprised. I mean, we could end up having a Broncos-Bills Super Bowl. I would not, or a Broncos-Bills, AFC championship game. I wouldn't count this guy out of the mix either. But obviously losing Tyreek, that's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? I think right now the Bills and the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. But right now, I mean, I know it's early, but right now, based on everything that I've seen, everything that I've read, even though the Bills are the favored team by most people, I think the Broncos might be mine. You know what I mean? Because I think that they have a little bit more balance, and I like Javonte Williams a lot more than anybody that they got on the Buffalo Bills at running back. But the Denver Broncos still have issues on the line and still issues on the defense, and the Bills are better in those particular areas. So they're really going to have to get more out of Russ. He's going to have to really extend more plays, and they're going to have to get more out of the running game and the passing game to make up for the O-line and the defensive issues that they may have, as well as being in the AFC West. But anything can happen. Anything can happen in the AFC West. But obviously with Tom Brady, I mean, we got a chance, dude. And this is our last chance before maybe he walks away forever, or maybe he decides to sign a one-year deal with the Dolphins, a one-year deal with, maybe the Niners. But what if we win the Super Bowl and he wants to come back and keep playing? I mean, fuck, if he's still, a top 10 quarterback statistically, or even top 15, besides being number one with like yards and touchdowns last year, which is nuts. But I mean, this guy could literally probably play till he's 50 if his wife let him. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I'm all for us being competitive, because at some point we're not. And I have to soak these moments in, because, I mean, I've gone through the Josh Freeman era. I've gone through Chris Sims, Jeff Garcia. I've gone through Josh Freeman, Jameis Winston. It's fucking horrible. It's fucking miserable. So these last few years have been some bliss for me. But my favorite team of all time will still be that 2002 team, obviously with Brad Johnson, Joe Juravicius, Keenan McCardell, Ken Dilger, Keyshawn Johnson, Mike Allstott, A-Train, choo-choo. That's definitely going to be my favorite, with Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Shelton Quarles, Booger McFarland, Dwight Smith. I mean, that's going to be my favorite team of all time. The team that won it in Super Bowl 55 was good, and I love that team, but I don't love it as much as my first Super Bowl. That's facts. Holly Hundo with a $5. Thank you. Bang! So does it mean that the rumors of Brady going to the Fins has been officially debunked? Yes. Obviously, there was rumors of him and Sean Payton linking up before Sean Payton might be able to do a TV job. But then that was obviously with the Brian Flores thing that happened. But that was just all like rumor. But that is, yeah. Now, after this year, after his contract is up, he might go to the Dolphins for a year. He might end up going to the Niners for a year, or re-signing with Tampa Bay, or maybe riding off into the sunset if he wins the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. But yeah, that is definitely debunked. He is not playing for Miami this year. That's facts. And it was cool, too, because if you ended up watching the presser today for Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, guess who was sitting in the front row, right? And you don't see a lot of guys that do this. It was Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool that when you have that relationship, that you don't have to be there. You know, you don't got to be there, for the old head coach or the new head coach, the defensive coordinator that ended up getting, the opportunity to be the head coach. But he was sitting there in the front row. And how many quarterbacks can you say that would have done that? Peyton Manning would have done it. Obviously, Tom Brady did it. Maybe a John Elway, a Dan Marino, a Joe Montana figure could. But there's not a lot of guys that probably would have took the time to fly out there or just to be there in the building, where they had the presser. Because I obviously assume that was in that Tampa area. So he probably didn't have to go too far with his house being in Tampa unless he was out of town and had to fly in. But it was just cool to be able to see the support, with the quarterback and the teammates of obviously, supporting our guy moving forward, Todd Bowles. And like I said, I haven't been, whenever there's usually a new head coach, I mean, we've gone through Lovie Smith and Greg Schiano and all these like garbage fucking coaches. And I'm like, oh, brother, you know what I mean? I'm like, this guy, Raheem Morris. I'm like, oh, great. I was like, we're fucked, right? The only ones I've really gotten excited for is Tony Dungy. I always loved him on my team, loved him on the Colts, met him at Oregon at a football game, and no one recognized him. And we were sitting next to each other, and I had a little conversation with him, which was awesome. So I got a chance to meet Tony Dungy. He's great. But Dungy's awesome. Gruden, even though there was some racial things and they fucking made an example of him, if I didn't have Gruden, there is no Super Bowl for me. So I always loved Gruden, obviously, as a head coach for me back in the day. And obviously now with Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, I mean, those might be the only ones that I really, really like until we get the next guy. But I'm hoping that we keep Todd Bowles for a while, and it puts him in a good position to succeed moving forward. Well, a lot of quarterbacks have egos. Let's be honest. Got to have someone named Reed in the organization. That's facts. I have a funny feeling that there's some kind of Cash App. Let me check. I always get these like funny feelings. There it is. There it is. My boy, Cyberpunk 53, just like Holly Hundo and Eagles John, the same goats, always taking care of me. And what does Cyberpunk 53 do? He's like, should I do a 5 or a 10 or a 20? Nah, I'm going to throw a big one down for you. All right, appreciate you, brother. Cyberpunk 53, one of the goats. We haven't seen Nate the Great in quite some time. He was in that, top 5 status for the goats, but I think he might have gotten surpassed by some of these other goats that have been in the room a little bit more. But he does also work like 60 to 80 hours a week. He's an animal. And hopefully we'll get him back in the room because I do miss him. I do miss the conversation from Nate the Great. $80 donation. 80. Jerry Rice, $80 donation on the Cash App, my boy. Thank you. Like I said, I wouldn't be able to do my dreams without people like you. That's just bottom line. Your generosity is almost unmatched. I mean, there's not very many people that are on your level. Holly Hundo is on the same level. Sometimes we'll get Xavier Williams or Shepard Williams, and we get a few of these goats that do it. But my Lord, man, thank you so much. Bang! $80. A nice Jerry Rice number for my boy. Let's go. Holly Hundo with a $5. And then obviously we got a nice little dono there from my boy, Cyberpunk 53. Appreciate you. Chiefs Kingdom all day, every day, showing love to your boy whenever he needs it. Things are a little low. He said, no fucking problem. I work fucking 10, 11, 12 hours. I work fucking nights. I need something to keep me entertained. Appreciate you, man. To the max, man. Wouldn't be able to make my dreams come true without someone like you in my corner, as well as Holly Hundo and a few of you others. Eagles John, shout out to the GOATs, Chiefs Kingdom, definitely the number one supporters of the channel. High five, Holly Hundo. High five, Cyberpunk 53. Tommy. Appreciate you guys. Cheers to all the GOATs. Cyberpunk gets wingy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Gang, $80 donation. Boom. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Your generosity is unmatched, my brother. Thank you so much. Oh, Niners just scored right there. So we got a nice $20 donation from Eagles John, $80 donation on the Cash App. So $100 in the Cash App already when we were at 0 just 20 minutes ago. And then a Holly Hundo with a $5. Thank you so much. I know you got car issues and other things going on. So I do appreciate anything that you can do when you can do it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Officially debunked. So what does that put us at? What, 105? I think 105. I know. Could you imagine Tom Brady and fucking Tyreek the Freak Hill? I mean, shit. I mean, they could have had Justin Herbert if they were just smart. You know what I mean? If they would have called me, I would have told them. I mean, could you imagine how good the Dolphins would be if they had Justin Herbert? Like, just for a second. Like, I mean, I know there's a lot of talk with the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Bills, but Miami would be right there at the top with, I think they would be above Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo gets a lot of love with, Josh Allen, but I'm telling you, to me, I think Herbert's a better quarterback. I mean, you can say whatever that you want. I've watched him, firsthand, but I think that with all the records that he's broken already with yards and touchdowns and his accuracy with his arm, I think he's better than Burrow and I think he's better than Allen, but I think that they are the 3 best young quarterbacks for the future. So you can put one guy at 4, one guy at 5, one guy at 6. I mean, they're all jumbled together, Burrow, Allen, Herbert. But I think that obviously it's going to be easier for Burrow and Allen to win a Super Bowl over Herbert. Herbert's at a disadvantage because he's on the Chargers. It's going to be harder for them to be able to overachieve because the Chargers are fucking cursed with injuries. I could definitely see the Bengals and the Bills winning a Super Bowl earlier, and they're going to be gauged based off the Super Bowl Lombardis that they have in their pocket. But I'm hoping Herbert can at least get to a Super Bowl before it's all said and done. I don't know if he will. But I think that he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. And when it's all said and done, Burrow and Allen, I think, will be Hall of Fame quarterbacks as well. So you're going to have 3 You're going to have Josh Allen. You're going to have Herbert. You're going to have Burrow. And I don't think there's going to be any other quarterbacks that can be on their level. I mean, you got Dak, you got Lamar, you got Kyler. They're nowhere near the talent level of the other three guys. Not even close. Not even fucking close. Seeing Brady instead of Mahomes throwing to the cheetah would be too much for my heart to take, I bet. And imagine if he did go there, like, I mean, if Brady's on the Dolphins, I mean, where does that put them in the power rankings? I mean, they definitely have to be towards the top. You know, one of the top three teams if Brady's there with the roster that they have. I mean, they still have holes, but with the draft picks and everything else, I mean, I don't want to think about that. I'd rather have him come back to my Buccaneers. I would rather have him go to the Niners, you know, and go to his childhood team than go to Miami. Stay in the NFC. If I end up, not being relevant after this year, that's fine. You know what I mean? If hopefully we get the Super Bowl, but Cyberpunk, my boy, appreciate you. 105 and don't knows, baby. Cyberpunk is a real one. Money, age, rebuilding. They let go to Russ go, and I mean we'll have to see if DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett end up getting traded during the NFL draft, or if a team like the Packers, can lure maybe DK Metcalf away. We'll have to kind of wait and see, but it's all about rebuilding. They're all rebuilding now. They got Drew Lock. They're not going to get Baker. And if it was me and I'm Seattle, and I know there's going to be a lot of trades and a lot of things that are going to be happening within the next couple months. But if I'm Seattle, I try to get this because I think the Carolina Panthers might be looking at him at 6. I know the Steelers are looking at this. He'd be a great fit on the Steelers with Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, he could be the face of Pittsburgh. I mean, he could be fucking amazing over there. So, but Seattle, obviously they have a lot of holes to fill, and they already got Drew Lock there. But I mean, if you get a guy like this on Seattle, that definitely would help the fan base stop the bleeding a little bit. Because it's like, okay, at least you got your future quarterback, but you don't draft O-lineman, so he'll just get murdered out there. You know what I mean? Hopefully they'll learn, but you never know. I did see that. So it sounds like he's joining like the players run league, the fan run league, and Johnny Manziel might end up being his quarterback. I think it's just kind of, I don't want to say desperation, but you get these guys like Chad Johnson and T.O. They want to be in the NFL still. And they're just hoping that a team like the Rams or the Buccaneers, if they get an injury, that they'll come a-calling, and then they'll be able to have those guys in the red zone where they can actually try to get a touchdown and pad their legacy. But I don't see T.O. or Chad Johnson being in the NFL ever again. But I guess never say never. But, yeah, I did see that. I'm not sure if there's any new pictures of T.O. Let's see if I can find a T.O. picture. Nothing really too. And I know he's got his wine business that he's been doing with his own wine brand. But all the T.O. pictures, I mean, I can pull up see, if I'm going to pull up a T.O. picture, I don't want to pull up a Cowboy one or necessarily an Eagle one. Nothing against the Eagles, but it's more of like the Niner one is. But gosh, when he was on the Eagles, God, he was an animal, wasn't he? And then obviously when he was on the Bengals. Fucking T.O. All right, I'm going to do Eagles. I'm going to do Eagles for Eagles, John. Eagles, John. All right, T.O. He said, I love me some me, he said. I love me some me. I don't know. My best memories with him are on the Niners, but there he is. Top what? 3 wide receiver all time. I mean, you got Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, T.O. I like Megatron, obviously. He's more likable and stuff, but obviously he retired a little early. And if you look at the yards and the touchdowns, I mean, for me, just who I like, I mean, Jerry Rice 1, Randy Moss 2, Megatron 3, T.O. 4. Obviously, we know T.O.'s kind of a dickhead. He's obviously about himself. He was entertaining. He did play fucking hard. He was a big shit talker, but it shows you when you're a shit talker, he didn't get in the first ballot Hall of Fame because of his antics off the field and on the field, with like standing on the star and all that other shit. But that's not supposed to be a factor, but it ended up being a factor because of his fucking badass attitude. He was a great player though when he played. I'll give him that. Almost got him with like a broken fucking leg. Almost got the Eagles a fucking Super Bowl. Lost by 3 fucking points. And you got to think about that. The Rams, Patriots only beat them by 3. The Panthers, right, with Mushin Muhammad and Steve Smith and Jake Delhomme, only 3. And then the Eagles with Donovan McNabb and T.O. only by 3. What could have been with Brian Dawkins and some of those guys? I mean, it's not like New England was blowing all those guys out. I mean, we're only talking 3 points, and 3. Like literally a combination of 9 between the 3 Super Bowls. 3, 3, and 3. What could have been? What could have been? I cover all the teams in the NFL. Ernesto George, Rams ain't done yet. I know. It's crazy to see what's going to happen. Yeah, but shout out to the Rams and everything that they did. Bobby Wagner, what a fucking legend. What a G. And obviously we know I knew he was from California. So I was like, okay, he's going to the Rams. And then now you pair him up with the best defensive player in the league, best corner in the league, best defense in the league. And then Von Miller decides to go to the Bills. Good for him. If he wants that money, he was a big impact with him and OBJ. But now you get Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. I think Rams fans are fucking ecstatic. And we already saw how great Cooper Kupp was. That's big facts. Yeah, T.O.'s not coming to the NFL, though. He's going to like some fan-based league, like one of those like intermediate little football side leagues, but he ain't coming to the NFL. Yeah, he's old as hell. Right, but he actually announced it earlier, so it was like earlier today, though. Ernesto George, Rams fan. Hey, special team, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think that the Rams and the Bucs right now are definitely 2 of the best teams in the NFL. We'll be battling it out, and I wouldn't be really that shocked if either one of us won the Super Bowl. Oh, I know. All the April Fool's jokes are going to be crazy. Yeah, but you guys copied it from us after what we did, but you guys kind of took it to the next level with like the OBJ and the Von Miller signings. And whenever you get guys in the middle of the season and they, if they don't get hurt, well, OBJ ended up getting hurt in the Super Bowl, but at least he got his touchdown before he ended up getting hurt, and that was good enough. But OBJ might have ended up being the MVP if he ended up not getting hurt, because it seemed like he was probably going to score at least once or twice after that score. But Cooper Kupp was going to get his. But I think OBJ, there was a good chance for him to get at least another touchdown to tie Kupp with 2. You're not going to believe anything until April 2nd. All right, Eagles John, I appreciate you. Thank you for the $20 dono. Appreciate you very much, my brother. Tim Brown, definitely not in the top 5. I mean, Tim Brown was great. But, I mean, we're talking about the all-time greats. If you're going to put Tim Brown in the conversation, you got to go Larry Fitzgerald above him. I mean, I've been watching football since 85, and I cover all 32 teams. I don't have any bias. But, I mean, there's a lot of other guys that might be in the conversation. But, Jerry Rice, 1, Randy Moss, 2, T.O., 3, Megatron, 4, Larry Fitzgerald, probably 5. Justin, bang! $5. How many NFL stadiums has everyone attended? What was your favorite? Obviously, I've only been to Oregon, Washington, California, and Japan. And then I've been to Illinois. I've been to Chicago for like a Bulls game against the Warriors. But, yeah, I haven't been to too many spots. I've been to a bunch of Duck games, Beaver games, Seattle Seahawks games. But, yeah, I haven't been able to go to too many NFL stadiums. But hopefully I end up going to more than Seattle. Seattle is beautiful, though. I'll tell you that. Seahawks, it's pretty special there. I like going to Mariner games as well up in Seattle since I live here in Oregon, but great question. $5 dono by my boy Justin. Bang, 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 bang. Appreciate you. 110 in donos. Let's get to 200, baby. Let's do it. I appreciate that, Ernesto. Like I said, my Broadcast is a little bit different than most people. Like I said, I do live play-by-play and reactions. I'll do college basketball, college football. I do WWE. I do AEW. I do MLB. I do NBA. I do a little bit of everything. But primarily the channel is NFL, all 32 teams, no bias. I cover all the teams in depth. I've been a Bucs fan since 95, but I'm not like some biased Brady guy. I've been watching football for a long time. I've been born in 82. I've been watching since 85. But I do like football and wrestling the best. AEW, WWE, NJPW, Impact, ROH, all that. I'm a big wrestling guy, and I love football, NFL, and college football. So for me, it's Oregon Ducks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a long time, a little bit of Mariners, and the Dodgers for my dad. He's been a fan since the 50s. And then obviously a little bit of the Blazers. But the Blazers suck. Mariners suck. Dodgers for my dad. I like to follow them. But it's pretty much Oregon Ducks and Tampa Bay Buccaneers for myself. Yeah, but the Rams are in business, man. The Rams are in business, and they haven't had too many pieces that they've had to really worry about. And we already know how hard it is to be able to repeat, though. You know what I mean? You got to have the money, all right? You got to be able to stay injury-free. And with a lot of competition, with the Broncos and a lot of these other teams, with Brady coming back, it's going to be interesting to see. But Allen Robinson, to be able to get Allen Robinson on the Rams and upgrade from Robert Woods, that's a pretty big impact. Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, though, is the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL, period. So they're going to miss him. But with Cooper Kupp now as a top 10 wide receiver, probably number one last year, hands down. And then we have Devontae Adams and Tyreek that are number 1 and 2 normally. But Cooper was number 1, right? So what is it going to be this year? Cooper number 1 again, and then Devontae, and then Tyreek. I mean, I don't know what ranking we're going to have, but I do know that Allen Robinson is definitely a big upgrade. And obviously, Von Miller, you had him. He went to the Bills. He might help them go to the Super Bowl, but then you ended up getting Bobby Wagner. So I think all is forgiven. You know what I mean? You go from fucking Von Miller to Bobby Wagner. I don't think anyone on the Rams really gives a shit. They're like, cool. You know what I mean? And then you go from Robert Woods to, fucking Allen Robinson. I mean, he had a down year with Justin Fields, but he had more rapport with Mooney and Cole Kmet. But obviously, we know moving forward, we knew Allen Robinson was going to be a part of the team. He'll be back being a top 10 wide receiver again easily. He'll have like 1,000 to 1,300 yards, probably 10 touchdowns. And I imagine Cooper Kupp will be probably 1,500 yards, maybe more. And he'll be sitting at probably like 13 to 20 touchdowns this upcoming season too. So Ernesto, I appreciate you very, very much, man. Yeah, I think we need, I don't know how many subs, 75, maybe 75 subs to hit to 20K. I'm not really worried about the number. Like I said, usually the donos are amazing. We usually have less than 20 people. I'll stream at night, usually for 2 hours to 5 hours, 6 hours, usually almost every day. And then the donos are amazing. I mean, we might hit 200. We hit the record-breaking dono, 1,320 a few weeks ago in a couple hours. So we definitely have some goats in the room. So shout out to all the goats in the room. I appreciate you guys. WrestleMania is good this time. Well, it looks like it's going to be good, but what are the matches going to be like at the end? What are the endings going to be like? That's the only thing that worries me. See if I can find a WrestleMania flyer. One sec here. See if I can pull this up. Yeah, so I don't really know what we're going to get, out of the main events or, I mean, there's a lot of matches that look good on paper, right? But what are we really going to get? I mean, what are we really, really going to get at WrestleMania? I hope it ends up being great. Like I said, I'm going to end up doing the live stream watch party on Saturday and Sunday. I'll be watching the Final Four also and going over that while we're watching WrestleMania. So I'll have Final Four on the TV, WrestleMania on the computer, but we'll have to kind of wait and see on how it goes. But Ernesto, hey, I was born in 82. So we got a lot of us. Jameis Ameza was born, I believe in the late 70s too. So, I've been watching since 1985. So, a lot of times if you're new to the channel and, with all the hard work and the energy and the film study, everything that I put into the channel, if you're a newbie, you can go back and look at the history. But I definitely take a lot of pride in the channel with everything that I do, with a lot of the, reading and the research. I try to treat every single team as my own. And I think that's why people really do respect the hell out of me, because of the hard work and the effort that I do put in. But and obviously I'm going to give you some HD pictures, and I'm going to give you something a little bit different. That's awesome, man, that you were born in 81. You're just like me. You're in the wheelhouse, baby. You know what I mean? I was born in 82. Been watching sports and wrestling. So, I mean, if you're in 81, you probably like the same shit I do. Ninja Turtles, Transformers, fucking G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, maybe Batman, the animated series, X-Men, starting lineups, Micro Machines. I mean, I can go Hot Wheels. I mean, we can go down the line of all the cool things that we've had over the years. But, yeah, absolutely, man. 1981, my boy. Love it. It's always cool when you can find people around your age group that have that similar interest that you had. And for me, it's always been wrestling and sports. And I used to love the NBA when I was a kid, Jordan, Drexler, Bird, Magic, but the NBA isn't really the same. And I had a lot more love for college basketball back then too. And then it kind of transitioned from basketball and baseball towards more football and wrestling. But I still watch a little bit of everything. I still keep in tabs with pretty much everything out there. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Will the Thrill says, almost Lashley, the bathroom break match, huh? Is it? We'll have to see. Yeah, baby. 1981. I'm 82, 83, Sarah. There we go. Elliot's like, I'm old. 2003. You're a young buck, brother. You're a young buck. Yeah, there was nothing better than the 80s. I mean, like I said, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, nothing better. I mean, I don't care who you are. Wrestling, the wrestling legends, the football legends, the baseball legends, the hockey legends, the tennis legends, like literally basketball legends, the video game era. I mean, the internet only started at 95. So you got to think of all of us. Like I had an Atari 2600. I had a Nintendo. I had a Sega. I played Earthworm Jim. I played Mario 3. I played Tecmo Bowl. I played Super Tecmo Bowl. You know what I mean? I played all that shit. Bases Loaded 1, 2, 3. I mean, I played Contra. I played Super Contra. I played Zelda. I played Metroid. You see? You're going to find a channel here that's not like a lot of the others. Ernesto was like, oh, I like this guy. He's like, I want to be a part of this. Bloodsport. Yes, absolutely. Well, the Thrill's like, I'm an old head, 91. Yeah, and I love going back and watching the old stuff too. 79. See, we're all in the same wheelhouse. If you're like 79 to like, I think what, 78, 79 to like maybe 84, we're still in the same cartoon wheelhouse, toy wheelhouse. And I'm a toy collector too, on top of that. So I've been collecting since I was 5. So you can imagine, the amount of toys that I have. And I even sold a PSA 9 Michael Jordan rookie card that's worth like $20,000 to $50,000 for the channel. To be able to, if you go to my Instagram, you can go and see a picture of my Jordan that I had to sacrifice, for the iMac, for the speakers, the microphone. So, I mean, I got toys, I got starting lineups, I got, McFarlane's, I got McFarlane Chase figures, I got Walking Dead, I got Star Wars, I got Turtles, I got G.I. Joes, Transformers. I mean, you name it, I got it. Kind of like 40-year-old virgin minus the virgin part. But that's kind of like my collection too. I've been collecting for a long time, and I would say 95% of my collection is still in the box, mint. So definitely hardcore collector. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anyone that has been born in 80, but I imagine we'll get one. Yeah, 80s, man. And sometimes we'll just have these talks because I'll talk about football, but I've also gone through depression and anxiety, and a lot of people have gone through like mental hardships. So I'll talk about pretty much anything on the channel, kind of as a safe haven, So a lot of times people are kind of fake, and it's all about subs or views or money, and I like to be able to just kind of be real about it and talk about the problems that we're having. But we'll talk football, but sometimes we'll talk, TV shows, we'll talk movies. I mean, I got a lot of things in the database here that I'll bring up, but I mean, we might be talking something about Stranger Things, or maybe we'll go to Elliot's favorite show and maybe we'll go towards something like this. You know what I mean? You just never know what you might end up talking about, or we might go back in time and talk about something that some toys. Like yesterday we were talking about, and I didn't go to the fucking store. Remember how last night we were having the discussion about like the Hostess pies and like the kudos and the snacks that we had in the 80s and 90s, the Squeeze-Its and all that stuff. Like I wanted to go to the store and go get some of those fucking Hostess cherry pies and the apple and obviously we were going through the Pepperidge Farm with the mint Milanos and all that stuff. Like that's my childhood, and my best memories are from 5 to 12 years old. I met Ken Griffey Jr. when I was 7. I met Ken Griffey Sr. at 7, got his autograph. Met Sandy Koufax, Dodger legend, at 10. That was my dad's hero. I mean, I've had a lot of crazy things. I won the Don Russ Grand Prize where I got like 50 boxes of cards shipped to my house when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Like I've been very lucky, with some of the memorabilia things that I've been able to achieve, getting like foul balls with the Dodgers and the Mariners with my dad, and just all kinds of cool stuff, and obviously Swaggy P, Preston, one of my best friends, who's been on the channel, he's been very lucky too. We always put ourselves in proper position to get the memorabilia. Like he actually got 2 Kobe wristbands, and he sold one of them, which he probably should have never did, and he still has the other. But can you imagine if you still had both? Like a Kobe wristband is worth a lot of money. Like a normal wristband from a normal player, maybe like $100 or $200. A Kobe wristband is like $1,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially now since he's passed away. Rest in peace, Kobe. And he got 2 of them. And when he got them, he wasn't a little kid, so he got really lucky that Kobe actually, because Kobe usually, when he would give stuff away, wristband, armband, he would give it to little kids. He never would normally give it to someone that was like over 15 or over 20 years old. But my boy got lucky. So we always are putting ourselves in position to have, make memories, not only when we were kids with wrestling stuff, but also with the athletes when we got older as well. That's facts. So he's like, LOL, my guy, love this channel. Thanks, brother. You made my night. And sometimes it's cool to be able to have those old school conversations of those old school things that we used to love and appreciate. Because like I said, when I always think about of like Turtles and the Transformers, G.I. Joe, I go back on YouTube and I'll go on the internet and I'll go and watch those things like once a week, just to put a smile on my face to remember those times, and or go through the toy collection and dig around. And it's almost like Christmas, because sometimes the boxes aren't labeled. So I don't know what the fuck is in there. I'll just open up a box and I'm like, oh shit, a Transformer, or a fucking Ninja Turtle vehicle or something. Like, I don't know what's in there. I've got so many wrestling figures and wrestling rings and cage accessories and all kinds of crazy stuff in there. So it's very cool, man. I think you're going to fall in love with this channel, and we appreciate you having you here, man. Rainbow Bright. Ooh. That's legendary status right there, the Rainbow Bright. Yeah, and I do a lot of reading and a lot of research, and I always put myself in the pop culture side of it as well. OG, We Are the World. Like the song? Fraggle Rock. There you go. Yeah, Stevie. Stevie, baby. Stevie. Of course we do. Ernesto, come on, man. Reading Rainbow, bro. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I mean, we know all that stuff. I mean, if you're in the Reading Rainbow, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I mean, all those little things, the step-by-step, Charles in Charge, Perfect Strangers, Balky. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I mean, I can name drop. I mean, I got nothing written down. I mean, this is all up here. That's why people like come to this channel. They're like, dude, this guy can go on and on with like NFL players, wrestlers, baseball players, basketball players, but I can do the same thing for cartoons and snacks and all kinds of shit that I remember from like the 80s and 90s. But I guarantee if when you start name dropping shit like that, you're like, oh, fuck, I remember that. The Reading Rainbow. Oh, man. You remember that? The LeVar Burton? Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. I loved it too. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things like, you had like the Sesame Street and the, Mr. Rogers, and there was other shows. But then as you got older, there would be other stuff like obviously Saved by the Bell, huge show. Zach Morris, AC Slater. I mean, I brought up one of my pictures from high school, and that's what they supposedly I'm AC Slater. I was way more tan, had the earrings, and I had hair back then. But a lot of memories from back then, man. Ernesto George says, do you think OBJ is coming back? I would assume so, as long as they want him back. I mean, you already got Allen Robinson, you got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods is gone into the Titans, so it all depends on the money, and if OBJ wants to do TV or if he wants to play on the Rams. Obviously, I think the Rams will take him at the right price, but they don't want to overpay. And I mean, there's going to be other, he's coming off the ACL though, so like at the Packers, or other teams that need wide receiver, they're not going to want to overpay because, I mean, there's a good chance that he tears it again this year. I mean, OBJ is kind of brittle, but he proved that when he's motivated, he still could be one of the top 20 wide receivers in the NFL, and he obviously balled out for the Rams. Without Von Miller and OBJ, there was no Super Bowl. I think we can all come to that agreement that those guys were super impactful, just like Jay Ajayi was for the Eagles when they ended up beating the Patriots, obviously with the, fly, Eagles fly, with the Philly special. Now, there's just certain players that you have to be able to take you over the top, and definitely he did. Mick is Moot in the building. What do you do? How are you? Oh, yeah. There's just so many programs on OPB. And when I was poor growing up, I mean, I didn't have cable. I had channel 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, and Fox 49 for like Simpsons. So I was like, I didn't have cable. So I actually had a VHS tape that I would have to give to my friends to record raw for me, so that way I could actually watch it, or Nitro, actually. This is the one that I wanted to be recorded. But I'd have like Nitro and Thunder and other things that would be recorded for me, ESPN and certain things. And then I would end up watching them, and obviously watched a lot of, Jordan and Drexler. But a lot of those Reading Rainbows and those type of shows were huge for me. Absolutely. 3, 2, 1 contact. Gosh, you guys are really going back. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you're a 70s baby or an 80s baby, or even maybe like a early 90s baby, you have some of the similar memories, but especially if you're in the 70s or the 80s. Like if you're from 75 to 85, you're going to probably understand the same things that we're talking about in here. And we have kind of a wide variety. A majority of the channel, I think, is 18 years old to about 50. That's kind of the wheelhouse of this channel. We'll get some younger kids and we'll get some older individuals on here. But 18 to 24, 25 to 35, 35 to 45, I mean, it's all kind of in that same mix. But definitely 18 to 50 is kind of the wheelhouse. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Three, two, one contact. Oh, my God. It's crazy. But Reading Rainbow, I have a lot of memories. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I actually just saw a post on that, like on Twitter earlier today. It was like, or one of the like articles. Kyle Juszczyk, touchdown Niners. San Francisco, bang bang Niner gang, 27-27 all. Jimmy G says, "Let's go." 37 seconds left. I don't even know if I remember this game. Week 3. Did the Niners win this game or did the Packers? Well, it's 37 seconds left. So I assume that they go for an extra point and then the Packers drive it down and they kick a field goal and win, unless the Niner defense. I can't really remember this game. I usually have a pretty good photographic memory, but when you watch like 8 NFL games a week, sometimes you forget. I assume Green Bay comes and wins this game, though. Yes, sir. 28-27, and only got to get in field goal range, and Aaron Rodgers has 37 seconds left. And this is not Aaron Rodgers in the postseason. This is Aaron Rodgers in the regular season. So he's going to be lights out, right? He is going to be lights out. All right, it might be time for some gummies or beer or a combo of both. I got some berry gummies here. I think it might be time to go back into the 80s and 90s. It might be that time. And the wheels start spinning, especially on gummies, because then I start remembering a lot of other detailed shit that I might have missed if I was sober or just drinking. All right, gummies are inserted. Boy Meets World was good. Step by Step. Family Matters. Perfect Strangers. I mean, there's all kinds of different shows. But it was like what? Family Matters, and then the Step by Step. It was like Family Matters was on at 8 on ABC, and then they had something, and then Step by Step was on at like 9. I'm trying to remember the whole block of the channels there. Yeah, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Full House. Yep. I watch every episode of that. Every single fucking episode of that. Absolutely. Trying to think of what my favorite was though, because I know when they had Saved by the Bell in junior high, it was okay. That was kind of like the introduction of Screech and like Lisa. Then the high school one, Bayside, was the best, and then they did the college years, and that kind of sucked. That wasn't as good. I still watched it because I was a fan of Zach and and some of the people there. Oh, Devontae Adams with the grab. Yeah, the Packers have to win this game. Now he's down to the 50-yard line. One play, Aaron Rodgers to Devontae. You ain't gonna get that anymore. Now there's 20 seconds left. Yeah, Packers have to win this. Even though their special teams is Bootios, Mason Crosby, I assume, was good enough to make a field goal and win this game. Geeks and freaks. Life with Louie. Oh, man. It's just cool because like when you have those memories of the 80s and 90s, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'd have my wrestling ring and wrestling figures or starting lineup or my G.I. Joes or whatever. And I would just, wait to watch some of those shows on like Saturday morning or in the afternoon or the evening. But some of you guys obviously had cable. So you guys were much more rich than me. You know what I mean? I had to get shit taped on VHS to be able to watch some of these things. But getting WCW Nitro recorded for me Monday night and watching it Tuesday was probably the most exciting thing for me, just as a wrestling fan, because I just didn't have cable and NWO, and being able to watch that and how everything kind of blossomed with the Monday Night Wars and everything. And even prior to that, just watching Raw and obviously watching Nitro was very, very cool. But I have a lot of those memories with the Saved by the Bell. And I remember it was on at Saturday morning, and then it would transition into like college basketball. So I would be like excited. It'd be like 10 a.m. before I go outside, pre-internet. You would go outside, ride your bike. You go to the park or multiple parks and play baseball or football. But it was basketball primarily here in Oregon for us. A lot of basketball being played, with Jordan and Drexler in their prime. I mean, all of us out here in Oregon were just like basketball freaks. I mean, we were always playing basketball. I mean, there'd be times where I'd wake up 7 a.m. I wouldn't be home until 7 p.m. I mean, we'd be out all fucking day. All right, 28-27, 3 seconds left. Mason Crosby is going to attempt the game-winning field goal. Niners are 2-0, Green Bay 1-1 after they lost to the Saints with Jameis Winston going 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, and that upset. Crosby, 11 for 18 on lead-changing field goals in the last 2 minutes. So let's see if Green Bay makes it or if he shanks it and the Niners hang on. I can't remember. Dinosaurs. Yes. Oh, man. Yes. Oh, man. So many memories of it just shows over the years. Gosh. And it's cool, too, because it's like if you have a lot of, like, stressful days or bad days, I really do encourage you to go back on YouTube and go back and, try to find stuff that you used to watch from back in the day. You can find almost anything on YouTube nowadays, and you'll be really surprised on how your mood will change. Because I'm a big cartoon guy, King of the Hill, Simpsons, Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, South Park, Family Guy, whatever it is. I mean, I can watch old cartoons or new ones, but when you go back and watch some of that old stuff, or if you can reconnect and maybe buy or purchase on eBay an old toy that you used to have, you will not be able to understand the feeling that it gives you. Mason Crosby kick is up. And it's good. And the Packers win the game 30-28. It was almost blocked. Wow, that was huge. Fucking dinosaurs. Alf. Yes. I have an Alf figure. It's like one of those puppets where you stick the hand up the figure's ass and you look like a little puppet, right? I have a Burger King Alf fucking doll that's like mint condition from when Alf was on. I used to watch that all the time. I'm a big Alf guy. I don't have a lot of Alf memorabilia, but I do have that Alf figure. And I have like a bigger one, I think, as well, because when I went to like Disneyland back when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, I got some other stuffed animals. But I do have the Alf, Burger King Alf from like 87. or something like that, 88. It's just cool to be able to have those memories. But if you do go back in time and buy, like I remember the Ninja Turtles had a sports series where Donatello had a number 23 jersey, and it came with a sewer basketball and a sewer hoop. And you could flick the hands back, and Donatello would shoot baskets on that. That's one I need to go back and buy again. I had that as a kid, and I think I ended up, the arms kind of broke, or I don't know where it's at, but I've looked on eBay for some of those things. But also Gung Ho, G.I. Joe with the rocket launcher. I mean, there's just certain ones that you remember having. And if you can go back and rekindle some of your childhood, I mean, you'll be amazed on how much it makes you feel, just that reminiscing of that nostalgia. And like I said, that's why, I wasn't rich growing up, but I still have a lot of toys and collectibles as I've gotten older, just to be able to kind of rekindle those, great memories that I had, even though my childhood wasn't the greatest with the home life, but I have a lot of great memories from them too. With the Beavis and Butthead, yes. Not the mama. Yes. Not the mama. I used to watch that all the time. Oh, yeah. Growing Pains, Family Ties, Facts of Life. See, that's when you know you're a little bit older, too, because I watch those same things as well. And obviously with Family Ties and the Facts of Life and Growing Pains. And with Growing Pains, they ended up having George Clooney. And they also had George Clooney. And then they also had Leonardo DiCaprio back in the day. On some of those old school shows where Leo was like the young, high school kid. Gosh, you know what I mean? It's like, I remember watching Clooney and Leonardo DiCaprio on some of those old school sitcoms, but not a lot of people know what Growing Pains, Family Ties, or Facts of Life are unless you grew up in the 80s. If you grew up in the 80s, you knew exactly. And I watched all those too. Absolutely. Blood went to WCW when you were 8. Oh my God. Third row. Gee, what year was that? What year was that? It wouldn't really matter what year, but that's insane. Said you do that every day. I always try to rekindle those memories, though. Alf, dude. My boy. Fucking Alf. Electric Company. It seems familiar, but I'm not too sure. Trip to childhood memories, please. And I'll do it here. You know what I mean? Especially with all the memories that I have and the reading and the research and everything. Gem and the holograms, yeah. And sometimes if you go through cable and you go through some of the old cartoon channels, they used to have the old Transformers and G.I. Joe episodes that you can find on some of these old stations. You just have to go through them at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and you can find some. But if you go to Hasbro, you can watch old G.I. Joe episodes. I think there's one on right now if you end up going there. And G.I. Joe to me is one of my ultimate favorites. I like the Turtles, but I can't find a lot of the Turtles because there's a lot of the copyright stuff. So you can't really find a lot of the Turtle episodes, but you can find Transformer episodes from 84, 85, which are incredible, as well as the G.I. Joe episodes through the Hasbro YouTube channel, which is awesome. 112 and donuts. Let's get to 200, baby. Yeah, that might have been a little bit before my time. I was born in 82, so... Yes. Said Blues Clues. Who's the boss? There we go. Yep. Alyssa Milano. Yes, please. 98. Oh my God. So you went literally when NWO was at its peak. NWO started in 96. So 96 to 99. It was just insane. It was top of the top of the top. Everyone had a sign. Oh my God. That's crazy, man. I wish that they would have came to Oregon so that way I could have, if I could go in a time machine, I would go back and want to watch Hogan and Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner and Scott Hull and Nash and go, to North Carolina and all those shows that were in the Midwest and the East Coast. Oh my gosh. Tony Danza. Yes. Yeah, it's good to be able to go back in the rabbit hole and to do that, especially with all the stresses and all the crazy stuff that we got going on. And there's always repeats of shows that you've already watched and stuff that you have on the DVR. And you can always watch NFL Network anytime. You can always record stuff. But go on YouTube and do some searching, and you can find some stuff. Or just go through some of the old cartoon channels, and you can find some of that old stuff. Or even if it's an old Beavis and Butthead episode or Ren and Stimpy or whatever it is, and it ends up being amazing. Let me tell you, an 80s kid, nothing better. TV is not the same. I definitely agree. It's not. You know, there are a lot of garbage cartoons. I mean, I still like the stuff that's on, like Rick and Morty is definitely amazing. I like King of the Hill. I like Simpsons. But just to have those cartoons for me in my childhood, I mean, to this day, Ninja Turtles in '87, Transformers in '84, and G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, still hold up to this day that are better than most cartoons that are on right now. Like, they are just fucking insane. They're so fucking enjoyable, man. Hogan was there. Goldberg. Oh, man, you're lucky. Did you get any pictures? You still have your ticket? Did you buy a T-shirt? Hopefully you bought something or still have some memories of that. Man. Yeah, old school clips. Yeah. It's funny, too, because remember Holly when Air would go through, like, the matches of the week? And then Bull, Nakano, they had a thing on Twitter where there was another person talking about that match that he actually was previewing, and it came up on my timeline, and it was like the girl with the hair versus, I don't know, but it's on there in some of the matches, and I was like, oh my god, that's the one that Air was talking about. Freaking crazy. But it came up on my Twitter timeline, and it was just showing them like wrestling. I think it was in America before she got in trouble with like the cocaine thing or whatever, before she got booted out of WWF. But I was like, oh my god, it was like, because you don't really see too many Japanese wrestlers in the WWF circles, so it was probably like in the early '90s or whatever. But it was on my Twitter. I was like, oh, Aaron would love this, but I didn't tag him in it. I probably should have, but it was awesome. Yeah, old clips of wrestling is awesome. So I bought some merch T-shirts and a Sting mask. Nice. And I have a bunch of the figures too. Like to this day, I still got a lot of the NWO figures. I got Hogan. I got NWO, Wolfpack Sting. I mean, I got a little shoebox in the other room with some of my loose figures that I have. Some I bought from Preston that he collected when he was a kid. Some that I got off friends. Some that I had when I was younger. But I got about 20 to 25 loose ones that are all worth good money. They're all worth like 10 to 30 bucks each. And I'll have a lot of accessories too. But most of the stuff that I have is in the package. That's facts. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm so old. I used to watch Sting when he had blonde hair, when he had like the blue and yellow face mask, when he was like a face, like way back in the day when it was like Luger and it was him and it was like, you know what I mean? It was like the good guys. And then obviously the NWO started and then everyone and their mother was on NWO after a while. Man, to go down the rabbit hole of the 80s. Freaking awesome. Said Nick Wright. He says, I feel a legit feel for KD. He had to be the second best to LeBron for a decade. And the moment he might have passed LeBron, Giannis passed him. Second player out of high school, second pick in the draft, second best player in the NBA for life. Legit awful luck. And he's not going to be better than Giannis. That's true. That's crazy. Yeah, but I don't know. He's not really as likable, as some of the other guys. I think LeBron got a lot of hate too, but just the way that he jumped ship, from team to team. I think it's just his attitude, as being kind of the heel. Just trying to see if there's anything else here in the news. If anything, I'm looking for like Honey Badger news or anything else like on that. Yeah, I try to watch as much wrestling clips as well. I mean, I do a lot of football, I do a lot of wrestling, but obviously if I had one thing that I could watch all day, it'd be cartoons. I like watching 80s cartoons, 90s, 2000s. I mean, it just depends on what it is. You know what I mean? Just depends on what it is, what I find, and what I'm in the mood for. But definitely stuff from my childhood or old school TV shows like Perfect Strangers with fucking Balky. Like I have so many memories of just shows of, I don't know why I remember those things, but maybe just because I watched them all the time. Oh, I hear Paisley whining. Let me see what she's doing.
Centers that there is that this game has ever seen. So it's just going to elevate everyone else, I think, around him to step their game up as well.
And look, let's face it, here in the NFC, it's kind of the place to be if you want to kind of make that run towards the Super Bowl, considering all the moves we've seen in the AFC. We're going to get to that here in just a minute. But speaking of other NFC contenders, another big move as we had a couple of former fellow Seahawks breaking news together today. Richard Sherman saying the rich get richer. Yeah, the Rams lost Von Miller, but they gained a future Hall of Famer and Bobby Wagner 5-year deal. Up to $65 million maximum here. Tom Pelissero back with us. Sherman also mentioned some of the other teams that were involved, the other interest there. How did this deal ultimately come together with the Rams and Wagner? Well, the Ravens did make a push, as future NFL insider Richard Sherman mentioned there, but Bobby Wagner was born in Los Angeles. He was a star at Colony High School in Ontario, California. This is an opportunity for him to go back to where it all started and play his old team, the Seahawks, twice in 2022. Go back to the initial stages of free agency. The Rams thought that they were going to be able to bring back Von Miller. He ends up going to Buffalo on a big money contract. Wagner's not a pass rusher.
Party time. Excellent. She's in the room now. She gave me a little growl. She doesn't want me to pick her up. Maybe she knows she's on YouTube. Just wants me to have all the attention with her. Of course, I need to be able to bring her on once in a while. Party time. Excellent. Yeah, one of my favorite actually toys that I had back in the days, I had one of the Ghostbuster figures, and it came with like a ghost, like a green ghost, and then you push the arm in, and then the eyes would pop out, and then the jaw would come down, and the eyes would pop out. I don't know exactly the name. I'd have to look it up on eBay to see the one that I actually had, but that was one of my favorite toys. And that Ghostbuster line is actually worth a lot of money. Like I had a lot of He-Man. I had Skeletor figures rather than He-Man, but like I go back and look at some of the stuff. Like I even looked up some of the Hot Wheels that I had. I had a Ford Bronco that had a snowplow attachment, and it's worth like $600. I'm like, oh my God. Like, this was like back in like 85 or 86 when I was like 3 or 4 years old. If I would have had the mindset to just convince my mom or dad to buy 2 and keep one in the package. But yeah, it's like $600 for some of these ones that I had. I was like, and of course I had every single expensive rare one back in the day. So of course I had good taste even at 3 years old. Like I knew which ones were cool, but man, it's like when you end up seeing something that you had when you were a kid and then you find out that you played the shit out of it and just, you had a great time with it outside in the dirt, smashing it against other Hot Wheels, or you had like the little Hot Wheels, like the play set where it has like a little ramp and a garage. And I don't know if you guys had some of those, but I had different like little play sets with like the Hot Wheels and everything where you could fit a couple cars and there was like a little ramp, little track on it. And you could like fold it up and then it turned into like a suitcase. It was like brown or whatever. And then you could walk around, but you could put your Hot Wheels in there. Very cool. I had so many memories with that. But of course, when I look up the stuff, I'm like, oh no. I was like, of course, the one that I loved the most was worth like $600. It's not like the ones that you look up, like, oh, it's worth $20. No big deal. Not like $600 or $800. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of those Hot Wheels from the 80s are worth a lot of money. And then I remember those like Micro Machines and shit like that. So Paisley is in the stream. Yeah, Ghostbusters the cartoon. Yes. Yeah. And Hot Wheels are they have treasure hunts. Those were like the rare ones or whatever. And like back when I was with past girlfriends, I collected them and I had quite a bit, and even, collected some of the old ones when they first came out, like in 68, 69. And then some of the ones that are from like the 80s are fucking insane. Like if you see the packaging on some of those, I mean, there are some like really hardcore Hot Wheels collectors. That's facts. LA Rams in the building. What to do? Holly Hundo with the 20. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bang! $20 dono by Holly Hundo. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. It's always good going back in time. Yeah, it's good. Good for you, LA Rams. I don't know if you guys are going to repeat, though. I mean, obviously, if you've gone through all the years, we haven't had a repeat champion since 03-04. So, I mean, if anyone could do it, I mean, obviously, the Chiefs, when they ended up getting their Super Bowl, they thought they were going to do it. Didn't happen. Buccaneers got the Super Bowl, my team, and I thought, hey, we can do it. Didn't happen. Rams won it last year, so chances are it's not going to happen. It could happen, but I think more than likely you're not going to get the two same teams in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? If anyone could do it, it's definitely the Rams. And obviously getting Bobby Wagner is huge. And you already got Aaron Donald and you got Ramsey. I mean, you got an amazing defense. Stafford got some more money. He's going to be there for a long, long time. But, you know, you lost Vaughn, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that big of a deal. And Stafford looks like he's going to start really padding his legacy, you know, moving forward. But, I mean, might be two new teams. Could be the Bills and the Buccaneers. I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe the Buccaneers and the Broncos. I mean, it normally is going to be two different teams. I would be very shocked if the Bengals got to the Super Bowl again. If any team out of the two, you would think the Rams would be the one that gets there. But you never know. You never know. 132 in donos. Let's get to 200, baby. Yes. Yeah. And I had a lot of the tracks. And I mean, you know, just the toys and the memories. I mean, and like I said, one of my favorite things also too is watching, going to like Blockbuster Video or like your local video store, right? And then renting like 1988 Royal Rumble, you know what I mean? When you're just like a young kid, and then having the wrestling ring with my Big Boss Man, Bushwhackers, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan figures, and just, you know, doing the suplexes and the punches and the kicks and the leg drops, and actually watching the old school pay-per-views, you know. And I remember when I moved to my dad's house, this was like kind of like, you know, or I stayed at his house. Maybe it was like after my dad and my mom got a divorce, and we would go to the local Wallace Video or somebody's place, and I'd rent like 4 or 5 of them. And I would get a whole thing of Mountain Dew, and I would just stay up all night and just watch, you know, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. Wouldn't sleep. Would just enjoy playing with my wrestling figures and watching those matches. I mean, I have so many memories from back then, man. Fucking crazy. Yes. I think we all had a spot either in the backyard or in the house. I just had a lot of those like playset type things too. $10. Bang! Jameson Meza. Appreciate you, baby. Absolutely, man. And like I said, but Elliot, I mean, you're in the newer generation, but if you grew up like with a lot of us that are in the room that are a little older, I mean, the toys were better, the cartoons were better, sports was better. It was just a wild time to live if you grew up in the 80s and 90s compared to what it is now. And there was no internet, so there wasn't all these like trolls or bullshit. I mean, when the internet started, I was 13. You know what I mean? So I was like in 7th grade when the internet got created. So there was a lot of times where you just, you know, hung out with friends and played Nintendo or Genesis, and those were like the good old days. You know, go over to a friend's house and you're fucking playing Earthworm Jim for fucking like 6 hours, or Zelda or Metroid or Super Mario 3, or you go over there and play Tecmo Bowl and then or Joe Montana Sports Talk Football, and then eventually that turned into Madden, like Madden 95 on Genesis. I have so many memories of Madden 95, NHL 95, NBA Live 95. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours playing games like that. It's fucking bananas. Fucking bananas. Thank you for the 20, Holly Hundo. Appreciate you. No, car repairs are, you know, they can definitely get expensive. And $10 from my boy Jameson Meza. We're going back in time, baby. That's what we do. 142. Let's get to 200, baby. Let's do it. It's always cool though, you know what I mean? Because we can always talk, you know, football, and I mean, but you can only repeat, you know, Bobby Wagner to the Rams so many times. I mean, I can't talk about Bobby Wagner to the Rams 1,000 times in a 3-hour stream. You know, that'd be a little repetitive. You know what I mean? I can obviously do a little recap and a little reboot, you know, for some newbies that maybe drop in, and, you know, show them a little love and show them kind of what I do on the channel and whatnot. But I really do like going back in time and, you know, kind of picking your guys' brain, you know, of going back in time and what you know, what you guys went through when you guys were growing up. And then obviously this weekend we got WrestleMania, you know, day 1 and day 2. I'll be doing a live stream for that. I am actually looking forward to the Final Four. What is our prediction for the Final Four? Are we going Rock Chalk Jayhawk? Are we going Kansas and Duke? Or are we going Kansas, North Carolina? Or do some people think that the opposing team to Kansas, Nova, is going to end up getting it? I'm interested to see. I would assume Kansas, I mean, Duke with Coach K, you know what I mean? It's like his last hurrah. So maybe they find a way for him and they go extra hard for him. So maybe Duke, Kansas. Is that what we're thinking? Is that where we're going? I'm actually looking forward to that, since it's kind of the end of Coach K's career. And this is a chance that Kansas actually can get a championship when no one thought they could. So Paisley's here by my feet, hanging out. I live here in Oregon. Yeah, I've been grinding on the channel for 10 years, 6 years on YouTube, and I pretty much cover everything. I'll be covering a little bit of NFL, college football, MLB, NBA, college basketball, wrestling, WWE, AEW, a little bit of everything. Oh yeah. New world order for life, brother. Oh yeah. Still, I'm not okay with Razor Ramon Scott Hall passing away, but I'm starting to come to terms with it. Tommy want Wiggy. Oh baby, let's go. North Carolina. I mean, I wouldn't really care who wins, but I mean, Kansas would be kind of cool because it's like you don't want to be like a Gonzaga where you get there, pretty far. You get to the tournament every single year and you choke every year. You know what I mean? You want to be able to finish, the job and climb the mountain and stuff. And obviously, we know North Carolina and Duke have many, many titles. I don't know. I think it'd just be kind of cool for Kansas to be able to, go all the way. So maybe I can talk into an existence, Kansas and Duke. But if it ends up being Kansas-Duke, Kansas, you cannot lose the championship game to Coach K. You know what I mean? If you get there, no mercy. You know what I mean? Just like WWF, like the pay-per-view from back in the day, no mercy. I mean, I know Coach K is retiring, but you cannot let them off the hook. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I think Kansas, North Carolina. I think North Carolina's team is a little bit better than Duke, but then that extra motivation factor of Coach K. But yeah, I could definitely see Kansas, North Carolina too as well. Yes, he did. Well, he didn't retire. He got promoted to another job so that way that they can make room for Todd Bowles. So obviously it's my guy, man. Bruce Arians, I've been a fan since 95. So, this guy ended up being great for us and definitely a real, recognizes real kind of guy. But I got my guy Todd Bowles in there for the next 5 years and definitely excited about the opportunity moving forward. It's not going to be easy, but hey, I'm up for the challenge moving forward. I mean, because after Tom Brady, how many more years am I really going to be relevant after this year? I mean, we got Tom this year. We don't know if he'll be back. I'm just hoping for one more run this year. Buccaneers, Bills. Buccaneers get the Super Bowl. Brady versus Allen or whoever it ends up being. I think I probably would rather see Buccaneers and Broncos personally, but the Bills are just like, they're right there. They're on the cusp. You know what I mean? So if I have to give Josh Allen a loss in the Super Bowl with Brady, I'm all for about that life. You know what I mean? I think they'll end up probably getting a Super Bowl win at some point, but they're never going to get it unless they end up getting a stud running back. And I keep saying that over and over and over. JT got the knowledge, huh? Where did we get into that conversation? You never know what you're going to get with the NWSF and the Fanatic family, huh? You never know. You never know what conversations are going to come about. You never know what pictures that will pop up. You never know what we're going to talk about. It could be this. It could be the $1 Million Man. We could be talking about Peyton Manning's big-ass 8-head or maybe some big-ass shoulder pads from Jerome Bettis. Favorite shows from Elliot. Shameless. You better finish that shit, dude. It's 10 seasons. All right, you're on like season 5. You still got a ways to go. Looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to Ozark getting back started here at the end of the month. And then I did see a thing for the Game of Thrones spinoff that's going to be in the fall. There's a lot of good shit that's going to be coming on TV and in movies here pretty soon. And I still haven't caught the new Halo. I don't know if any of you guys watched that or not, but. JT's on the Google right now, just looking up all kinds of facts. Google, Yahoo, Bing, just like trying to find all the facts. All the facts, baby. I'm going to take a quick peek to see if there's any other news. Paisley's here just hanging out, chilling. Maybe I should start slamming some beers for your entertainment. Is there anything going on news-wise? Giannis on a game-tying three-pointer. Giannis just passed Kareem for the most points in Bucs franchise history. All right, so now they're talking about Gronk needing to be able to make a decision before the draft, so that way we don't draft a tight end. So OJ Howard's gone. We got Cameron Brate, but we do need to figure out if he's coming back. So what we need to do is restructure Donovan Smith, restructure Tom Brady and Levante David, and then we can make money for Sue, which we need desperately, and we also need Gronk. Those are the next two guys on the list. So I'm hoping that we can get that done. And even with those two guys signed, there's no guarantee we beat the Rams or beat any AFC team, but I just want to be relevant, and I want to be able to have a chance. So geez, you and Bill Clinton? Damn, Elliott's everywhere. You never know what Elliott, he looks good. So, and he looks good usually every day. So you never know who he's talking to. He's talking to NFL players, talking to Monica. Man, you're everywhere, my guy. I did not watch all of it, but I saw, little glimpses of it. I didn't actually get a chance to watch all of that today. I was watching the introductory press conference with Bruce Arians and obviously Todd Bowles. Caught a little bit of the herd, obviously with Colin Cowherd, a little bit of McAfee. Sometimes I catch it and watch it all the way through. Other times it just kind of depends on what I'm doing, or if I'm doing reading or research or following the news, or if I'm catching up on shows. I think I was catching up on some shows from the night before as well. So, all right, I'm going to take a quick peek here. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 24 minutes. So I'll probably go for, another, if we do 36 minutes, that'll be 3 hours, or I can do an hour and 36 minutes. So we'll just kind of see who's in the room, what we're talking about, where the donos are at, and how everyone's feeling. And then we'll kind of go from there. Ooh, the Bucs beat the Nets by 1 in overtime, 120 to 119. Let's see. Ginobili and Hardaway to the Hall of Fame. Wagner gets a 5-year deal. Jacob deGrom got shoulder tightness. Arians happy to reward with Bowles, no rift with Brady. I mean, not a whole lot of stuff that's going on. Men's Championship Final Four, 5:49 p.m. Duke and North Carolina. Damn, North Carolina's a fucking 8 seed. Man, I don't know. Duke, Kansas final. That's what I'm predicting. I mean, UNC, they could do it, but I just think the extra motivation factor is a big part of sports. It's like when Ray Lewis was retiring, when you have certain guys that that are walking away from the game, or someone died recently, or maybe they have like a brother that got injured, or something that happened with the team to bring them together. Coach K walking off, and this being the last hurrah. I just can't see them losing to North Carolina. It'll probably be a hell of a game, but I'll go Kansas Duke in the championship game on Monday. Yeah, I've watched normally his shit every day for years. It's very good. Obviously, he's got a lot of his boys that he grew up with, like guys he went to high school with, and it's just a good blend of people that are real. No other person on there is like, they have AJ Hawk, who's a former player, and sometimes they have Aaron Rodgers, but it's just a lot of just like regular dudes that are just regular hardcore fans, and they swear and they're real, and that's why people like it. Like I can't even watch Good Morning Football anymore. Like I tried doing it, I have to delete it. Like I can't even do it anymore. I can't do it. I want to do it, but I can't do it. Sorry, Peter. Can't do it, buddy. I can't do it. But I do like the herd, and and Skip and Shannon is okay, but I actually prefer the herd more. I just like Colin's voice, and just the way that he goes about the show. Obviously with his mannerisms and his tonality, the way that he speaks is just, he's very good. Like he might be the best talker in sports talk that people don't realize. Like Pat is obviously the most real, and obviously we like him because he's a punter. He's in WWE. He just seems like a real dude that you can have a beer with or smoke a joint with and just be cool with. You know what I mean? But a lot of the other shows that are out there, you can't really connect with the certain people. But with the way that Colin does his show, he's very underrated. Obviously, when you have Skip and Shannon, the arguing factor, people love that. For me, not so much. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the takes are garbage. You know what I mean? It's all by the producers for clicks and for ratings. It just seems like it's more of them putting on a show, for clicks and views, rather than just being authentic and real. I would rather watch something that's authentic and real, not something that's told by the producers, and then all they're doing is just arguing. But obviously, America loves ratchet shit. They like ignorant shit, people getting knocked out, people being ignorant, gold or silver grills, people being stupid, just ignorance. A lot of this ignorant shit that America likes, especially your young generation, Elliot. You guys love that shit. Like the Island Boys and all that bullshit. It's so stupid, dude. Like you try to give these guys the fame that they want, and they know people are going to watch because of the face tattoos or the grills, or it's just so dumb. But you guys fall for that shit. The older crowd, we don't fall for that shit. We know that shit is stupid, and we know that shit is a 5 seconds of fame, that they have no talent, but they're making their money, so shout out to them. But a lot of the younger generation is dumb as shit. And I'm not saying that you are, Elliot, but a lot of the younger generation is a bunch of followers, definitely not leaders, and they definitely make these idiot people that have no business being famous. They make them famous by just the ratchet, ignorant, dumbass shit that you see on the internet with like the TikTok and all the Instagram bullshit. It's almost laughable. You know, I'm glad I'm not like that. I will not watch TikTok. I will not support idiots and make them famous. I just won't do it. You know, it's like if you want to support someone that's actually got talent, that's a hard worker, not some guy that's looking for a 5 seconds of fame. You know what I mean? It's facts. 142 and donos, baby. Let's get there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of people don't like Colin, but like I said, if you really listen to his voice and the way that he talks, it's not like anybody else in sports talk football or sports talk in general. You know, some people might not like him and they would go somewhere else. They'd rather watch the arguing with Skip and Shannon. That's fine and stuff. But I think the way that Colin breaks things down, I enjoy it. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people I respect in the business. Colin is definitely one of them. It's not going to be right all the time, but I like his delivery and I like his cadence. I like his tonality. I like the way he talks. He's got good takes. He's interesting, and he's a good host, period. He might be the best host out of all the hosts that are out there. I mean, Pat McAfee's got his own little wheelhouse of the younger kids, the wrestling fans and everything. But if you're talking about like an older OG guy that's doing the sports talk thing, I think as far as the old heads, he is by far the best. I mean, just if you haven't watched Colin in a while, him and Joy Taylor usually kill it on every show. It's interesting, and I can definitely sit there for 3 hours and watch him rather than Good Morning Football. I wish I could watch Good Morning Football, but no Nate, crappy K, Peter stealing my shit, stealing my material. I mean, the only thing that's worth watching on there is Kyle Brandt, and I can't watch just him for 3 hours. So unless they're doing like angry runs or something like that. Yeah, I watched a little bit of the Yankees. They had the Yankees, I don't know if it was Yankees, Phillies, or whatever. I turned it on MLB Network once in a while, and I tried to, catch a little bit of baseball too. So Colin was right about Baker. And a lot of times people don't like his takes, but he's very smart and intelligent. He's from the Northwest. He lives in Cali, but like I said, he was my local sports guy on like Channel 8. That's where you got to start. And I always thought he was good and talented, and he's really worked hard to get where he is. But I think just his cadence and his tonality and the way that he delivers his show makes him elite. And there's other guys, or females that will go, for the arguing, like the Skip and Shannon, and that's fine. But I don't like fakeness. I don't like arguing just to argue. You know what I mean? You know how there's like people that'll sit there, and you guys are probably guilty of it as well if you're a younger generation, but you'll be on YouTube and you'll get a suggested video of like someone knocking someone out. And then all of a sudden 3 hours later, you've been watching 40 videos of people getting knocked out on World Star, or like some like street fights or girls fighting. You know what I mean? Like that's how it happens. Like you start off and you see something on a fucking video, and then all of a sudden you end up watching 10 or 20 videos, and you're like, what time is it? And like 4 hours have passed, and your brain cells are just ruined from watching this dumbass stuff. But that's what the American public likes now. You know what I mean? They love the ignorant, dumbass, bullshit stuff. I can't do it. Jason Taylor and Joy Taylor, yes, are related. All right, let me take a quick look. I got Paisley still here underneath my feet. All right, is there baseball on? We got the Nationals and the Mets. All right, we got the Nationals and the Mets 3-3. What else we got? I got old SmackDown from the week before. I got the Mariners are on against the Cleveland Guardians. So they really did it, huh? The Cleveland Guardians instead of the Cleveland Indians. That's the dumbest shit of all time. It's like the Atlanta Braves. The Cleveland Guardians. Oh my God, that's the dumbest shit ever. See, people are so overly sensitive. Like, Washington Redskins should still be here. I mean, I'm telling you, the Redskin Cowboy history. I know more Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Guardians. Oh my God. That sounds horrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a part of baseball and a part of fucking sports and football. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be culturally appropriate and you want to, you know, everyone's going to be fucking offended over the littlest thing nowadays. But goddamn, that sucks. Cleveland Guardians. That's got to be the worst of all time. That just gives me a headache talking about that. Oh, I got Swamp People. Nice. Flash, Station 19, Master Chef Jr., Grey's Anatomy, Swamp People. And Master Chef Jr., Holly, and some of the females that are in the room, they have this little girl in there. I can't remember her name. It's like Ivy or Eva or Ava or something. It's like a short name. And she's like a lot younger than all the other contestants in it. So she's like 7. And everyone else is like 10 to 12 years old. So she's this really, really tiny girl, but she's actually one of the best cooks for the junior chef. So anything that's like food related with Gordon Ramsay, I watch it. You know, when they have the 3 different levels or they have the different competition shows. I mean, if it's a food show and if Gordon Ramsay's in it, I'm watching it. But they do the junior one right now. And yeah, that little girl is actually pretty good. She gets emotional though. She cries a lot because she's, you know, little and sensitive. I get it. But she's actually pretty badass. She actually has cooked some of the better dishes at like 6, 7 years old when everyone else is like 10 or 12. Pretty fucking impressive. Wish I could cook like that when I was that young. Yeah, I mean, there's other ones out there that are good. Like if you do Man versus Food, that's a one that you will really love. If there's like Food Network and there's a few different like stations. Like if you do Fox, you know they're gonna have the Gordon Ramsay stuff, and then they had the one where he did the expeditions like on National Geographic, and he would go to like random places and like canoe and climb trees and get the ingredients and then cook a meal for like the local natives at the end. That show's pretty cool. So I've watched that, but yeah, Man versus Food. They're old episodes now with Adam Richmond, and then they had the other guy, the redheaded guy, that took over for him. But they do like those competitions to eat like the most delicious food across the country. Pretty sweet. If you're looking for a show to watch, Man versus Food is definitely entertaining. If you've never seen it before, or if you do Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri, that's a great show too. You can watch that for 10 hours straight. But I would warn you, don't watch it unless if you're hungry, don't watch it. Because if you start watching it, you're just going to be like eating your fingernails while you're watching it, and they're making some like, you know, beef Wellington and you're eating fingernails, or they're going to give you like the most delicious pasta dish on planet Earth and fingernails again. You know what I mean? So I'm warning you. But those are the ones that I watch: Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guy Fieri, Man versus Food. But those are like older episodes, and anything that has Gordon Ramsay in it, it's right. It's a cool show. It's cool, man. Like I just like the interaction. He is a good host. So I've heard from people that have met him or been in that general area that he's kind of an asshole. But I mean, if you're a Hollywood guy, I mean, he's worked hard to get where he is. Not everyone's going to be polite and nice, I guess, to everyone. But I do like him in the show as a host on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. So I can't make my own judgment because I've never met him. He's never treated me badly, but definitely a good host. And I love when they go across and they do like country. You know, they'll do like the Southern cooking. They'll do the gumbo. They'll do like the biggest hamburger. They'll do, you know, anything and everything. It's just kind of cool where they go to different locations and you can see kind of how people are eating and where the location is at. I usually try to remember. It's like, okay, if I ever travel, I'm definitely going there. Oh, yeah. And a lot of these shows that I watch, I mean, they'll be like a kid version shows, but some of these kids are like super young. They did like the top 16. And the one girl is definitely by far the shortest and the smallest. I mean, like I said, she's like 6, 7 years old and everyone else is like 10 to 12. So you can definitely tell that, you know, she's not only half the size of everyone, but she definitely packs a punch and she's confident to a certain degree. And I'm trying to remember what her backstory is. I don't know if her parents are bakers at like a bakery. I think that's another girl, but it's definitely fun to watch. You like the yelling. That's like Gordon Ramsay, just the yelling, the bar rescue. That guy loves to yell and talk shit. He's like, listen to me, you fucking idiot. He's like, you don't know what you're doing. The food is fucking spoiled. You want the bar to be fucking shut down? And then the owner's like, what do you mean? Everything is working fine. And then they cue over to like the employees and they're just like, They're all like fucking head down and they're all pissed off. And then the owners get so pissed and so like combative. I've watched that show a bunch, but they're like, "What do you mean? My fucking bar's great." And then they're like looking at the receipts and they got like, 30-day, hamburger that's like fucking rotten, and they got like mice or fucking roaches, or their liquor's not up to date, or you know what I mean, or they're stealing from like the registers. Like, oh, it's like I don't even get my own tips, and then they cue it over to the owner. He's like, "What do you mean? I give you tips?" And he's just been like getting drunk at his own bar. But yeah, they always have the craziest scenarios in that fucking show. Fucking bar rescue. It's like Gordon Ramsay loves to fucking yell. That guy loves to yell too. Can't remember what his name is, but you know who I'm talking about. The main host with the dark hair. Yeah. Yeah, bar rescue. Yeah, Gordon seems like he is a really nice guy. I'd love to be able to meet him one day. Like I said, I've had a few people that have gone to the Gordon Ramsay locations across the U.S. It's really spendy. So, I mean, if you're going to go there, if you want beef Wellington, or if you want to be able to go for some of his primo things that he's famous for, you're going to be spending like probably $150, on just a few items. Like maybe like an appetizer, your main dish, maybe a dessert, a drink. I mean, you're going to be looking at like $150, $200. So, but that money doesn't really bother me on that part. I just wanted to see what it tastes like. Obviously, if you're paying that much money, it's definitely not worth the money. I mean, at least in your head, you can't really justify like, oh, I just spent $150 on a hamburger. But like beef Wellington, people don't really eat beef Wellington. Some people, Elliot probably has no idea what beef Wellington is. But unless maybe you do, because you do watch some of the cooking shows, but that's what Gordon Ramsay is known for, is the beef Wellington. And it's like most people eat beef Wellington like once every like year, like a Thanksgiving thing kind of thing, or they have it like once every 5 years or never. So, but it always looks amazing whenever I see it on there. I haven't had a beef Wellington like here in Oregon in like long time. Let's shut it down. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Like we all get together and we get to go to like Gordon Ramsay. Obviously, it would be a spendy thing, but share. A little here, a little there. Just be kind of cool. Because food to me is, everything. I mean, sports is a big part of my life. Cartoons, my childhood, reminiscing with the toys and the candy and the nostalgia from anything from 5 to 12 years old. But besides sports, I think food is like up there for me too. I would love to know how to cook like some of these incredible people. I just like eating food. I think it's like everyone else. I like the flavors. And I'm not picky. So for me, like you want to say, like a friend calls me up. It's like, hey, Ryan, do you want to go get pho? Or do you want to go get Vietnamese food? Or do you want to go get Indian food? Some people would be like, fuck that. That's gross. I don't want that. Sushi, gross. I don't want that. But for me, like if you invite me, I'm going. You know what I mean? As long as I have money and I can make it. Like there's no food that I will be like, no. Like, there might be certain things that I wouldn't want as like my first choice. But as long as I have options of the cuisine that I'm getting, I imagine I'll find something that I like. And if you never try shit, you'll never know what you're missing out on. That's what I'm trying to tell Elliot. There are things rather than fingernails, and they're not. The alternative is not toenails. Okay, it's supposed to be from fingernails to anything that's above fingernails, which would be, above pepperoni pizza or chicken or cheese quesadilla or chicken in general. We got to get you past the food groups. It can't be pizza as a food group, pepperoni pizza at that, and then the other food group is quesadilla. And then the other one is cheese or chicken. And then the other one is just chicken in general. Gas station chicken. The Cleveland Guardians just hit a home run on my Seattle Mariners. Great. Cleveland Guardians. I wonder what the Indians fans think of that. That's got to be fucking horrible. And if you're buying a jersey, you're definitely not buying one with Guardians in the front. You're buying one with Cleveland on the front. The fucking city. God, who? I'm trying to think of like, okay, if you went from Cleveland Indians, Guardians, that's the best that they can come up with. Cleveland Crackheads? Gosh. Man. Oh, really? I watch all his shows. I'm like obsessed. Like any show that he's in, I don't know if you saw the most recent one where they had the 3 levels. So they would go like on the top level, the medium level, and the basement. And then they had this rotating machine that they would have to grab the ingredients. And then once they were done with their plating, they would have to put it on there before it went, and it would just like go up. So if you didn't get your plate on there, you lose. So you have to be like very quick, and you have to be very observant, and you have to, when you're getting the ingredients, you have to be very quick and be able to grab the right things. And it was a pretty cool concept. It's like, to have the moving elevator that when you grab ingredients and plate your stuff and put it on there. And then some people got like the good materials, like on the top level, or then you'd be in the basement. It would be like all the old wooden spoons and all the, mixing things and all the stoves. Everything would be all kind of more ratty. So it was cool. It was a cool show to watch, though, for sure. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was the last Gordon Ramsay show besides the new one that has the MasterChef Juniors with the kids, which is always cool because you get to see kid personalities. You'll get the black, the white, the Asian. You get, maybe someone that's foreign, that's like maybe from like Australia or like from England. They always have a wide variety of kids, and it's usually the top 16 in America. So obviously their backgrounds, they're going to be going through these competitions to get the top 16, and then they whittle them down. But the kid conversations some of them are super intelligent too. Like you'll see some kid who's like 10 and he's talking to like Gordon like he's 25. Like I'm like, this kid is like hella smart. You can tell he's like 10 years old and he's using like crazy like cooking verbiage that I watch on like the big boy shows. I was like, how the fuck does this guy know what this is? But I guess if you love it and you're a smart kid, right? Instead of me like doing all the football research, and when I was a kid looking up the stats on the back of football cards for yards and receptions, and he went to USC for 3 years and transferred to Michigan. Like, I was always about that type of stuff, like looking about the stats on the cards. But I guess if you're a kid like that and you love cooking, you're in the cookbook, right? You're just boom on the internet. You're on the cookbooks. You're reading. You have fucking, the steel trap memory, and then you start picking up that lingo and that verbiage. So I guess, if you do love it, you could probably be 10 or 12 and sound like Doogie Howser, like Alex. You never know what he's going to be doing. Some crazy math problem, trying to burn down the house, trying to ask me how to make lobster at 11. He's like some kind of spy or agent or something. You never know what Alex is going to be up to. That's facts. You had pepperoni pizza yesterday and today. Why doesn't that surprise me? And then you had popcorn for dinner yesterday. Elliot. I'm gonna have to get like super rich and like fly out to you. And I'm like, all right, I'm flying to you. I'm gonna get you some food that's not your regular, and then I'll show you what food is all about. Then you'll change. I guarantee you will. Because until you end up having like something different that you love, then at least you'll have another option for yourself. So instead of only eating 4 foods in your life, then maybe you can bump it up to 5 or maybe 6. Oh, Cake Boss? Oh, fuck. I used to watch that. Not like obsessively watch it, like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or Gordon Ramsay, but I did watch that show for a couple years pretty regularly. Pretty fucking regularly. All right, the Cleveland Guardians are up 1-0. I can't believe I'm saying that. That's crazy. All right, they got a 30 for 30 playing with the mob, Ray Liotta. Mobster Henry Hill once helped orchestrate the fixing of Boston College basketball games, narrated by Ray Liotta. Have I seen this? I think I've seen this already. Oh, they don't even have it on. So I went to go to the 30 for 30, and they're showing women's basketball. So that female place where you can watch female sports in Portland, it opened. And I guess they had a really successful kind of campaign with it. So it's like, it's not just necessarily for women, right? But they're going to show only women's sports at the bar, and it's in Portland. So you're going to get, straight people, gay people. You're going to get soccer fans, basketball fans, a little bit of everything. So I guess you could be a guy and go there, but obviously it's kind of geared more towards the females. I think it's called a sports bra instead of sports bar, sports bra, I think is the name of it. But I was on my Twitter timeline and a stranger tweeted like that they went to it. And I was like, oh shit, I don't even know who this is, but they live in Portland. They live like very close to me, like 30 minutes away. And I was like, oh shit. And they did a little tweet on it. And I was like, oh, okay. Thought that was very cool. Cool idea. And you get a lot of these haters, the guys, they're like, oh, that's going to fail. Like women's sports, there's no one's going to watch that. But they're not appealing to the drunk guy that's going to get kicked out or start a fight or being annoying. So it's probably good that those guys aren't going to go there so that these females can just, watch sports and not have to be hit on, or if they're lesbians, then maybe they can hit on each other that way. But it's a little bit not as forced, and it's more of like a different environment. I kind of like it. They don't need to single out the dudes, because you can go there, like if you got, your girlfriend or whatever, and you want to watch fucking women's Final Four with like Paige Beckers, on UConn. I'd watch that. Paige is fucking good. There's only a few women's college hoops I would watch. It has to be a superstar for me. So it'd have to be like Paige on UConn, because she's like the biggest name. She's like the biggest thing since sliced bread. She's very good. But for this place, I kind of want to go. I almost would like to interview the owner. I think it's an Asian woman as an owner too. But I thought that was a incredibly intelligent idea. It's in Portland. Portland, it always supports anything. There's a lot of crazies with the Antifa. That we have a lot of food carts, but we have beer. We have dispensaries, wineries, breweries. Keep Portland weird is kind of the slogan. So you have a lot of like, you'll get some of the homeless people, just like anywhere in any state, right? But Portland isn't as bad as they make it on the news, where it's like this like fucking psycho. Of course, when they're rioting and doing shit, it looks horrible, right? And I don't live there. I wouldn't live there ever. But when you go to certain places, they do have some pretty cool like locations where you can go to with food and whatnot. But man, I need to go check that place out. And like I said, I primarily would assume it's going to be 95% females in there, and there'll be like some dudes in there just hanging out, or if they got like a group of buddies and you're watching like women's Final Four or the championship, or if you're watching soccer, because we have soccer is really big here in Oregon. So we have like the Portland Pilots, and then they have the Thorns. So the Thorns is the female version, and they're pretty good too. So usually Portland, on both ends, for the men's and the women's, people watch quite a bit. So they also have a lot of the soccer chicks that just like are in love with soccer. And then we have a lot of fucking people out here in Oregon that love fucking soccer. Like they love soccer as much as football. It's kind of wild. For me, I'm not really that big into Timbers. I know Timbers have won a championship. I've been to a fucking couple Timber things, and I think it's just because I don't really understand everything that I'm watching, and I don't have any favorite players or favorite teams. I imagine if I did, I'd be like Elliot, and I'd love it. But the atmosphere, the energy there is like a Ducks game. It's very loud. They got the chainsaws going with the wood. People are jumping up and down. There's chanting. It's kind of rowdy. It's like pretty crazy. Like you don't want to be in the wrong section, over there and stuff. They got some hardcore drunks that love their soccer out there. But that Portland bar looks interesting. Shout out to her to come up with this kind of a ballsy idea, but there's enough females and there are enough people in Portland where people are going to come out of town to go there, out of state to go there. And Portland's just got a lot of fucking people in general. So I think she's going to actually be good. And I looked at the menu. And so they have like different food options. And then I was thinking about like the drinks, since it's like a female thing. Are they going to do like A cup, B cup, C cup, D cup, like have a little wordplay with the drinks and like the size of the drinks? Because these people are very creative out here in Portland. They're always, trying to find the double meanings and doing stuff. So I didn't see that on the menu, but that might be something that you get on there. But the food options look pretty good. But I think that's a cool opportunity you can always open it up and change it and have anyone go in, but to have that kind of specific market for women, for female sports. Obviously people, there's not going to be enough female sports, but there's plenty of stuff that could be on there. It could be soccer. Soccer's on almost all year round. Then you'll have a little of the basketball, and then maybe some, college baseball. They'll have little things sprinkled about, but I think that was just a really, really kind of ballsy idea to be able to come up with that and then believe in it and know that you could make it happen in Portland, maybe not everywhere in the United States, but I thought that was a incredibly brave idea, that knowing that it could fail. But I think that this woman did a lot of fucking research with the location, the menu, what they're going to show. And obviously you're going to get people like me that think it's fucking amazing. And I would love to be able to promote a place like that, because you don't hear about stuff like that in America. And that's what I like, someone that is real, authentic. And it's not necessarily trying to just single out the drunk guys, but in kind of a way it is, because it's like, you don't want to go to a place where you're just getting fucking harassed. You know what I mean? Whether you're a girl or a guy, by some drunk ass, you just want to be like, eat your food, watch fucking the game, and like, you know what I mean? And obviously a lot of us have been to places where people go way overboard and it gets annoying, and then you leave. You're like, fuck this. The karaoke sucks. My ears are fucking bleeding. These people can't sing. They think they can, but they can't. Or I got some fucking idiot trying to fight someone or fight me or fight one of my friends, right? You guys have been there, right? They're like, you get these people singing up there thinking they're fucking Diana Ross or Mariah Carey, and then my ears are fucking bleeding. There's no Q-tips to help me out. And then you just leave. And I go, whatever. Did I pay the tab? Whatever. My ears are fucking bleeding enough. You've been there. That's why I don't really like going to karaoke bars. I go sometimes, but it's like usually a horrible thing that ends up happening. It's like you're never going to get 3 hours of great karaoke. You might get like a song or two, and then the ears bleed the rest of the way. Then I can't enjoy my food or my beer. You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty cool though. You know what I mean? Very, very cool. Yeah, Paige is nice. Paige is nice. You know what I mean? She's just very, very talented. It's like you don't see the females on the basketball side like be that special. Like every 5 to 10 years you get one. And she's like, seems like she could be that one, that generational kind of female on that side. So when she goes to WNBA, it'll be like, Anosku, obviously from Oregon, that went to New York. She's special. Sabrina. Her and Justin Herbert were, those were like the athletes here in Oregon. And Sabrina was very good. You've seen her. Sabrina Anosku. Go Ducks. Yeah, but I am excited for her, and I hope it pans out. And, I would love to meet her one day. I probably will go down there at one point. I don't know when, but definitely want to check it out. Oh, women's boxing and MMA will definitely be at this place. Yeah, women's MMA would be, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how many women really watch MMA for the women, though. You have to really love UFC. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be like freak status. Like, we get those guys that order every pay-per-view. Maybe that's EMC 84. I don't order every single one, but then usually you'll have like that one friend that's like so hardcore that UFC or MMA is their favorite, and that all they do and all they talk about is just that. You know what I mean? It's sometimes boxing, but primarily like, UFC fights, and they always order them, love it, know the names of all the guys and all the stats and all that. Tien Jose in the building, what to do? 29 goals, 45 assists in 4 years. This guy's good. Elliott is good. Not only does he eat pepperoni pizza, right, and cheese or chicken quesadillas or fried chicken from a grocery store, but he got 29 goals and 45 assists in 4 years. I mean, where's the fucking contract? I mean, sign this guy up already, right? How's the weather been out there for you guys? Has the weather been calming down a little bit? I know you guys went through some like storms and snow and rain and some. I imagine things have calmed down by now. It's been a couple weeks, so. All right, I think I'm going to go to Swamp People. If I'm still going to be on here for a little bit, we're 2 hours and 56 minutes in. We're just reminiscing of the old days, and no topic is off discussion here. I mean, we obviously will talk about the Bobby Wagner situation and Bruce Arians, and obviously the photo op, and obviously the opportunity to pass it down to Todd Bowles in the press conference today. Obviously, I watched that, but that's what's nice about this channel. You never know. When we go for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, I mean, nothing is crazy to think that might not come up in the chat. So. Oh, crazy. Oh, deep in the Gator season. I got the new Swamp People on right now. This is when when you're living life, when everyone else is just like, flipping on TikTok or Instagram, reading the same articles or seeing the same pictures or the same fucking dance videos over and over. Your boy is on YouTube hanging out with goats, watching one of his favorite shows, Swamp People. Recommendation from LaMichael James. Fucking love it. And I love it because of the family aspect of it. I think it's just because if you're like a good-hearted person and you think about others first, it's not the killing of the animals that I like. That's actually the least part. It's like, I don't mind that one. It's like, whatever. But it's just the way that they talk to each other and the way they treat each other. And when they're in trouble, when they're there for each other, just that Southern hospitality for that kind of redneck crocodile, men and women. I don't know. I just like seeing how other people live, different accents, different way of life. That's why I like those Alaska programs too. When I see these people in Alaska living their lives, like sufficiently by themselves, and they have to hunt their own food and make their cabins. And I was like, fuck, I could never do that. You know what I mean? I could maybe visit Alaska or whatever, but when you see stuff like that, it's just crazy. But that's why I like watching programs like that, like the Swamp People or like the Alaskan programs. Life Below Zero. I like that one a lot. That one's good. Yeah, I never really could do the volleyball thing. Obviously, I've seen stuff on like ESPN when they have like the championships and when they have like the college teams. Like the only volleyball I think I watched was Saved by the Bell when they would have like the tournament with Carisi, and then they have the it was like the high school when they transitioned and they were at the hotel or whatever, and then it had Leah Remini as Zach Morris's love interest when she was like super young. If you guys know what I'm talking about. We got some gators today. They got tornadoes. And a lot of these are like father-son combos, or they actually have girls on here too. Like Troy Landry is like the OG. He's like the Michael Jordan of gator hunting. Troy Landry. He's got a voice. You'll hear it. And then he does it with a girl named Pickle. And she's young. She's like 100 something. She's like a twig. And she's out there like battling, shooting the gators and getting them with the rope. It's like she's like 110 pounds or 120 pounds, something like crazy. Oh, big boy here. He just went down. It's just pouring down rain. It's crazy. The son looks bigger than the dad. Son looks like a fucking offensive lineman, like a football player. The dad's like some skinny ass dude. Ooh, shit. They got it? I got it. He's like this. Got it by the rope with like a hook. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. That's crazy. Yes. Saved by the Bell volleyball. Exactly. They show all the water droplets with like the most expensive HD camera. 10-footer. Anchorage, yeah. It has to be somewhere like these people that they have those shows. They're out there though. They're not like in the main cities in Alaska. They're like out there where you don't really have a whole lot of neighbors and whatnot. So earlier today, not a whole lot of news. Obviously, you guys heard the news of Bruce Arians stepping down and going up into the front office. Todd Bowles had his introductory press conference today. But the big news was Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner decided to sign a 5-year, $50 million contract worth up to $65 million. And now you got a top 5 linebacker, top defensive tackle, best corner in the league with Bobby Wagner, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey. They are trying to repeat. And hey, who knows? Maybe they will. Shout out to the Rams for getting Bobby Wagner. I see you. I just got to be able to keep pace. Might not be able to beat them, but hopefully keep pace. These guys are crazy. I was waiting for the NFL game to come back on NFL Network, but they still have some kind of other program. So what are we at? 3 hours in. Wow. What are we sitting at on the dono side? Like 140 something? 142. So what, $8 to 150 or 58? So it's up to you guys, on what you guys want to do. We can keep streaming and hanging out. You know what I mean? It's kind of, right now it's 10:04. And so at your time, it'll be probably like 12 or 1. So, I don't mind. We can go for another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It just kind of depends on, what you guys are doing and what you guys are up to. Holly, thank you. Bang, $10. Supporting the cause. And like I said, I enjoy kind of just doing the random talk stuff too. I mean, I always have structured shit where I'm doing, a live play-by-play or like a reaction video or whatever, but it's just kind of nice to have no notes ever, which I never do, and just kind of freestyle it, and we can just hang out, and any conversation or topic comes up, we can talk about it. I mean, if you have other shit that you have to do at your house, like laundry, it's not a big deal. If you're not typing every, couple minutes, you can do your own thing, check your phone, hang out, and then, if you want to type something down, you can, no pressure. It's just nice, you know what I mean, to be able to have somewhere to come to where we can talk about the hardcore sports if we want to, but then there's a lot more that we can get into as well. So what does that put us at 152? Thank you, Holly. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm cool. I'm just chilling. So I'll stay on for another half hour to an hour, probably. You know what I mean? Since I'm just chilling, I'm waiting for that next football game to come on, and that's what we do. We just hang out, we talk, and anything that people want to bring up, they can. But I'm watching Swamp People right now. The new episode, I think it aired tonight. Love the show. And also, my first job was being a crayfisher, men-ish, like crawdads and crayfish. So that was my first job at like 12. So when I was on the water with my dad and my dad's friend, and they sold it to like Pacific Seafood, and we would go to like the Willamette and the Columbia. I mean, I was making like $20 an hour for like 3 hours of work, and I was making that at like 12. So I've always been kind of a grinder, but anytime I see shows that have to do with something on the water, it always catches my interest. So maybe that's that part of it. It's not fishing, which I do watch Wicked Tuna, and I like that show too. But, if they're in a boat, whether it's being like trapping, going for fish or gators, but if you're on a boat, I'm probably going to take a peek, and I'll see if it's good or not, if I like it. But yeah, Wicked Tuna, I watch that one religiously too. And I've never been a big fisherman or anything like that, but it was just like those first jobs that I had when I was a kid. So it kind of intrigues me anytime I see shit with water. I'm like, okay, let me watch this. Let me see what you're doing. Yeah. I mean, sometimes people, they can't handle it, but I mean, you can hear, I mean, it's like, do you really want me to talk about Bobby Wagner like 4,000 times in a 3-hour stream? I don't think anyone, you can only do it so many times, especially when things are a little smaller. So. Soaking wet. Oh, my boy. Cyberpunk, you never know he's in the room at all. He's always in the room, but you never know he's in the room because he doesn't type that often. He's working at his location, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m., right? This is just for his entertainment, to keep him busy, keep him preoccupied. Anytime he wants to talk about something, stops working, a little chitty chat, a little dono, bang, 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 big dono. Doing a big dono right here. So we were at 152. Now we're at $200, $48 Cash App, because that's what Cyberpunk does, because he gets the fucking wingy. Cyber. Cyberpunk 53 and Holly Hundo in the clutch. Thank you, brother. Let's go, baby. Shout out to the GOAT. Cyberpunk 53 gets wingy. All the wingies. My dude, appreciate you. Chiefs Kingdom always coming through in the clutch. Every single night, every single day. What day is it? Who knows? Because the Chiefs Kingdom's in there, and they're doing work. I don't care if he's still not on the team yet. I will still show the photo of the jersey of the Tyrant that I like the most. Still looks good. I'm still not okay with him not being there, and I'm not even a Chief fan. Andy. Andy. My boy. This one, though. This one's great, Holly. All right, I'm looking at Orion, Holly, hamburgers, fucking chocolate cake, anything I want to eat, right? But this one, look at the look in his eyes. 7 years old, just got the Nintendo Entertainment System with Mario and Mario 2 and Duck Hunt and the gun. Life is good. The butt kicker, Chiefs. Shout out to the kingdom. Always taking care of you boys. Appreciate you guys. Yes, sir. You guys and girls, men and women, ladies and gents. Look at the form. Oh, yeah. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, I couldn't do this dream I call YouTube without you. Same thing with you, Holly. You know, it's just like there's a lot of people that donate. There's only a few that donate like almost every time, you know, when they're available. That's rare. It takes a lot of dedication, choice from you to do that for me instead of doing it for yourself or having it go somewhere else. So it's definitely hard workers and people that decide to put their faith in me and help support my living cost. You guys are the best. I love you. Cyber gets the wingy. He does. He does get the fucking wingy. I need to find another wingy picture. This one might not be good enough. I mean, this one's good. I mean, I don't care if he's got 2 chins, 3, 4. He is hungry. He talked his way into wingies where he didn't know he had that in him, right? He's like, kind of this goofball, didn't really know if he has a skill set. He's got the street smarts, but definitely not the book smarts. But he is a fast talker, and he actually has a little swag. You just needed to be able to have it come out, and he wanted wingy, and he got the fucking wingy. And then David Spade's like, oh, wow, how did you do that? Because you believed in it, and then you got it done. And you have to have that confidence. Tommy gets wingy. Cyber gets wingy. My boy. Oh, no problem. That's a part of the show. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what you get. You get a full interactive show here. You know what I mean? You donate somewhere else, you ain't going to get no videos or GIFs or photos or, here. You support me. You never know what you're going to, you might get 10 photos. You might get some crazy stuff you haven't seen. It definitely adds a nice piece of flavor and interactive flavor that most people don't really do or don't know how to do or will copy me at some point. Of course, it's always good to see. I need to get a couple more Travis Kelce's on here, though. Yeah, I had a tweet, a breakdown. They were going over Kelce's stats and Gronk's. Gronk has got quite a few more touchdowns, and if you actually look at the full scope of things, Kelce would still have to have a few more like elite years to try to get like closer to Gronk. And I'm not sure if you're going to match the touchdown. I mean, I guess it depends on Kelce on how much longer he plays, but the tweet was. Yeah, it was kind of alarming because you didn't really think that Kelce was that far behind on the touchdowns. Thank you. $20 from Holly. Bang. For the Kelce love. All the Kelce love. Oh, yeah. Thank you. $20. A dime, a dub sack. All the weed in the bag. You didn't get a whole lot of weed for $20 back in the day. You had your guy come over. You're like, I want 20 or 40. You smoke it. And then you're calling the guy back in like a couple hours or a day. Those were the days. Holly Hundo with a 20. All right. Let's find some Travis Kelce. Let's do it. Handsome guy. I mean, it'll be easy for me to find. He's got all the moves. The best dancer in the NFL. I enjoy his touchdown dances more than any other player in the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of good guys at wide receiver or defensive guys, but let's see. All right, let me delete a few of these other ones. Got to make room in the database. The database. Make room in the database. Let's see. God, these commercials. I want to watch Swamp People, not talk about taxes or fucking credit cards. All right, stare at that. Wonderful man of Travis there. Yeah, the most exciting tight end. I mean, Kittle's great and all, Darren Waller, Mark Andrews, but there's nothing like Travis Kelce. I mean, he is by far the most exciting tight end in the game. That's facts.
There is a deal active right here. There's something going on under the surface.
Oh, I got some good ones. I'm going like Travis Kelce ham here. You donate to your boy, you never know what you're going to see. Oh, baby. Some of these I've never even posted before. So you'll see some stuff that's new. Come on, big boy. Come on, big boy. Oh, come on, big boy. Oh, baby, that's a sweet one. Take the shirt off the back to help you. That's what I'm talking about. Good fucking people on the show. You guys too. A buoy. All right, where are you?
Man, you don't know how much I appreciate that, Ronnie.
Ain't no thing. I got a big orange light tag in my plane. I start circling real tight.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Hello, my name is Travis Kelce, and I am the best tight end in the NFL. Pictures for Holly and Sarah. I am good, he says. You wish you were as good as me. I'm a Travis Kelce. That's a sweet one. That one's staying. That one is definitely staying. Yeah, Jason is good too. He's an animal. Like when the Eagles won and he dressed up, and his Super Bowl speech is one of the most epic ones ever. If you've never seen it before, I recommend watching it. It's insane. Appreciate you, Holly, for the 20. We're at put us at what, 220? He's right there. Of course, it's exciting for me too. Honestly, is because that way it makes me work, and I don't mind, grinding and chatting and multitasking and reading and watching stuff on the TV and working, because I feel that if I am gonna get the support from the fans, I want to give them a little bit more. I would want to give them what I would want to get. It's like you already are supporting, but there's just so many people that they won't go above and beyond, whether that is speaking individually to the person and like shouting them out or having a conversation or going above and beyond and showing some kind of like clip or picture. It's cool because like a lot of times I don't know what I'm going to find. I'll just do my database search or I'll do something on like a Google or Yahoo or Bing. I'll look around, or I might have stuff on the computer already. I mean, you can imagine how many fucking sports pictures I have. It's just disgusting. Have you seen my desktop right now? You literally can't see like the mountains and like the purple sky and like some kind of amazing backdrop in like the mountains, which is like my normal background. It's literally covered in like 10,000 fucking photos of anything you could possibly think of. Not porn though, just like football, like the stuff that we watch on here. No porn. Just like football, baseball, basketball, wrestling. Man, I need to organize, but I do so many throughout the day. It's like, what are you gonna do? Just stiff arm the competition. Raise your hand in the air, fly away, and let them know that you're the best. Travis Kelce. Awesome. Sweet photos. 14 years old, did tasseling corn. I think we'd be good friends. I mean, it sounds like, you're grinding it out early when you want the money and You know, I wanted to buy my own school clothes. That's what my motivation was. I wanted to buy my own Red Sand, Massimo, Nike. I wanted to buy all my T-shirts either through like the Hot Topic or the other skateboard place. You guys know what I'm talking about. Had that smell in it. I should remember it, but there's like, you know, there's different stores that you would go to, but the Red Sand, the Massimo, the Nike T-shirts and shorts. That's I was like, okay, I need to earn my money and get those Massimo and Red Sand shirts. They were not cheap. It wasn't PacSun, but it was a skateboarding store. There's only one skateboarding store that's like a famous skateboarding store. Someone will know it here in the chat because we've talked about it before, but it just sometimes, you know, too many gummies or too many beers or too many other pieces of a football information. I can't remember. But I could look it up on the internet and find out exactly what it is. But I imagine someone will figure it out. Just like type in skateboard store and it'll come up. Zoomies. Exactly. See? I was just about to look it up and I was like, with a weird ass name like Zoomies, why do I not remember it every fucking time? And Zoomies. It's like, you know, the most unusual name of names. But sometimes it doesn't come up at Zoomies. I always used to love going into that store, even though I wasn't a skater, just because of the T-shirts and stuff they had. They had the wheels of the skateboards, but there's just like a different kind of smell in that store. Just like a gritty skateboarding. It didn't smell like a sweat, but it was just like, I don't know what it was. Just the walls or just the equipment or the skateboards or I don't know what it was. Fucking Zoomies. Journey's End. Yeah. But they always had cool T-shirts. At least the ones that back when I was a kid here in Oregon, they did. All right, let me check to see the NFL here while I'm watching the Swamp People. I don't know why I find it so interesting. I just love that shit. Vans. Yeah. I never really got into skating culture or anything like that. The only thing that I rock is like Supreme stuff. And obviously that's a skateboard company, but I mean, obviously Supreme is one of those like popular brands. Shit is fucking insanely overpriced, but I mean, it's limited stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, so we're at 3 hours and 20 minutes in. So I'll probably we'll go for 9 more minutes. You know, obviously been going for about 3 hours. We've been going for a while. Getting a little bit later. Reggie Wayne, that's cool. Yeah, but we'll go for another like 9 minutes or so. I mean, unless we get some insane dono train going to make it go to 4 hours, I guess I'm down for that if that happens. But I mean, if we end up just ending it here in about 9 minutes, 3 hours and 30 minutes is a good amount of time. And obviously we had the goats definitely get us to a good number there at the end. So shout out to Cyber and Holly for being amazing as they always are. Jameson Mays in the building. What are we at? 220. Yeah. So 30 more to end the stream would be awesome, an even number. But if we don't get it, 220 was awesome compared to what we were at prior to that. So, I mean, if we end at this number, that's totally fine. Get the Gators. Said main motivation is that it was something that all of us cousins on my mom's side are do. So you hear a lot of stories of that. You want to spirit? Yeah, I bet. That's cool, man. And it's crazy like how you can hold on to those memories. You know what I mean? Like I was the guy that was at the table, and then when the crawdad traps were dumped, when they got them from the winch, they pulled the traps up. There were like 2 buckets that were hollowed out. And first it started off with like cloth, internetted cloth, and then with a cone, and then the crawdads would go in there. And then it turned into like hard plastic where the guy stepped up his game. And it was like 500 traps, 60 traps to like a line. You know what I mean? It's like they would dump it, and then you would have to go through like the grill would be slanted. So then some of the smaller ones would fall through, and then the bigger ones you would grab and sort out, clean, dirty, and you have to go quick because it's like they're coming on like a winch. So someone's stepping on a pedal and the boat's going. So when someone's driving the boat, and then when they step on the pedal, the traps are coming in like very quickly, dump, and then boom, put the bait in, dump. So it's like you don't have no time to rest or like fuck around. So if there's like 50 or 100 in one trap, you better move your hands. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it worked for me, the hand-eye coordination and doing that at like 12 years old. Pretty crazy. Swamp people. It's crazy. It's Thursday though, so I mean, at least we're getting closer to Friday and the weekend. There'll be WrestleMania, Final Four, championship game on Monday. So there'll be definitely something to do, something to watch. I hope WrestleMania ends up being halfway decent, but we'll see. We'll go check up on Paisley here in a couple minutes as well. I appreciate every single one of y'all hanging out, chilling. I mean, obviously, when we go 3, 4, 5 hours, you know, obviously it gets pretty late. But thank you to the GOATs, everyone that donated. Obviously, anyone that participated in the chat. You guys are pretty much all regulars, the ones that come through. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, we'll go for 5 more minutes. We'll go 3 hours and 30 minutes, and then we'll call it a stream. So if there's any other last second questions or comments or anything that anyone wants to go over, please do. Whatever that is, be greatly appreciated. And just hanging out. Yeah, busy schedule all the way through for wrestling and everything else. So yeah, and then we got obviously Rampage will be on tomorrow, so I'll probably watch a little bit of that too. I can't shy away from AEW just because it's WrestleMania season. So I just hope WrestleMania is good, but I have a weird feeling that it might not be as good as people anticipate. But you know, we'll wait and see. Go to the baseball game. No, I got it. See how much more of swamp people I have. Not that much. Get the gator. Get the gator. Good number. You know, like I said, you just wanted to be able to have some fun conversation, you know, and see what happens. And usually just the freestyle stuff's always fun. Gummies are good. Beer is good. Swamp people is good. You guys are good. I definitely need to eat something, though. What will I eat? I don't know. But I do need to order something, but it's like, oh, I'm going to be turning into Elliot now. We'll be like, oh, I guess I need to go to Taco Bell and get a fucking chicken quesadilla or some fucking chalupa or something. Nachos Belgrande. No, I would get like maybe chicken quesadilla, but I don't. It's like too late. I don't like eating late. It's like how you get fat and you get overweight. You just start eating like super late. Like I shouldn't be eating this late, and all of a sudden I'm calling or doing the Uber Eats and fucking Taco Bell chicken quesadillas, and then Elliot knocks on my door, and you know that story. You would say that. You should order a pepperoni. I don't think I can get pepperoni pizza anywhere. I think most of the pizza places are closed. You said you should get my favorite, pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni pizza does sound good. It does sound good. I won't lie. Pepperoni pizza when it's hot, or even cold, the next day is still good. But hot pizzas, yeah, that's where it's at. You should get pepperoni. Yeah, I'm not that hungry. Like order a whole pepperoni pizza and eat like 2 pieces. Like Plus, it's like 10:30 in Pacific time, so it's probably like the spit zone. You know what I mean? Where they stop caring about making pizzas. Like, I don't know how many pizza places are still open though. Watch out! I'm about to shoot the son of a gun. He's a fighter. He's a fighter. And they got to shoot the gator like in the middle of the head, like quarter size target. So they don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. So it's not like you can shoot the gator in the head anywhere. Like you got to. They're like wriggling and jumping around, trying to bite them. That's a small ass one though. Seriously, I have to go get food now. I'm gonna have to eat something. It's a pizza. That's too late though. It's 10:30. It's 10:30 my time. I'm here in Oregon. It's 10:30. That's too late, dude. Like, what time do these fucking places close? 11? I don't know. I never order pizza this late, so I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is open and what's not, but I would have to assume it's almost like closing time, right? But I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I've been streaming for about 3 hours and 30 minutes. I'll just go over a quick breakdown of earlier today. So obviously, if you guys watched the show earlier on, we know Bruce Arians obviously got a step down to end up leaving the road paved away properly for Todd Bowles to be the head coach for the next 5 years. They had the introductory press conference with Bruce Arians stepping down and Todd Bowles accepting the new head coaching gig. Awesome. Bobby Wagner decided to sign with the Rams to make it completely unfair for every other team in the NFL, and the NFL will go on strike because this team is too good on paper for any team to compete, even my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gosh, I just hope that, I mean, we'll see. NFC only has a couple teams. AFC, I feel bad for you guys, man. You guys got like 8-9 teams, and obviously any of the top four can come out on top, and you don't know who it's going to be, and a lot of question marks with Tyreek and post Tyreek. And I'm interested to see what you guys do in the draft, though, because you could button up some of those, feelings that the Chiefs fans have if you hit it out of the park with those late first rounders or what you do with them. So I do have some confidence in the organization. You're never going to get Tyreek back again, and there is a chance you may never win a Super Bowl ever again, even with Mahomes there, because Tyreek was such a big game changer. But I do believe the team is strong enough that they could still overcome the Tyreek, but it's going to be a lot harder than with Tyreek. With Tyreek, it makes it so much easier, and I think that Chiefs fans will start realizing that, but hopefully you get something halfway near the realm of not necessarily Tyreek, but just a good option at wide receiver. So no pepperoni pizza tonight. No pepperoni pizza tonight. Yeah, 2 times per season. So if you're in the conference, if you're a Seahawk fan, Cardinal, Rams, Niners, everyone in the division, you play each other 2 times. So your divisional record will always be 6-0. If you go undefeated, 5-1, 4-2, that's what you go for. 3-3 and below, you're like, boo, this is not good. You want to make sure you're dominating the division. That means that you're going to the playoffs or you hit a wild card. So 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0 is definitely preferred. But yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys. 3 hours and 31 minutes. We had a good number with the goats right there at the end. We hit 220. So that's awesome. Considering, like I said, we usually have less than 20. People in the room. Sometimes people are in, sometimes people are out. It's always nice to hang out and just talk about whatever. We can freestyle about our past, reminisce, nostalgia mode, whether it be video games or TV shows or candy or just our old school memories of being younger when we were young, right? But I appreciate you guys very much. Shout out to the GOAT, Sarah. Shout out to Jameson Meza, Elliot. All you guys, appreciate you. ACN, I see you in the building. HCN. All right, Holly Hundo and Cyber, appreciate you guys coming into the clutch, and I'll be back tomorrow. So we'll see what other news pops off. I don't know what we're going to get NFL-wise. And then obviously as we go into the weekend, we're going to have WrestleMania Day 1, Day 2, Saturday, Sunday, Final 4, and then Monday we'll have the championship game. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.